to Learning Web Development presented by 4J Media. I'm your instructor, Josh Werner. Thank you for joining me today. And in this video, I'm going to go over the requirements of this course and the software you need to install and what we're going to learn. Okay, so the requirements are you just need to be willing to learn and open to exploring and learning new things. If that's you, this is the perfect course for you. Software-wise, you're going to install Sublime Text, which is a text editor, which we're going to use to code our web pages and style our web pages. You're also going to need to install MAMP, which is a local Apache server that is offline, and you'll use that as a production server to upload files to your local machine and test them so you can debug and do what you need to do. In section 2, we're going to learn HTML. So we're going to learn basic tags. I'm going to give you a lot of resources. So if you have questions, you can research it or you can send me a question. In section 3, we're going to go over CSS. So we're going to style the elements that we build in section 2. In section 4, we're going to build a 5-page website. We're going to build it from scratch. We'll build it, then we'll style it. And then in section 5, we're going to convert that 5-page website into a Bootstrap website. And Bootstrap basically is like a boilerplate template that gives you basic functionality so you can hit the ground running and you can focus more on the content more so than the layout. But it also gives you the ability to customize the layout any way that you see fit, and you can build extremely quick websites using Bootstrap. So I'm excited about that. And then in the final section, I'm going to tell you what's next and give you kind of an overview of what you can do after you complete this course. So I look forward to sharing all this information with you. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. All right, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Sublime Text 3. So let's click on our taskbar here. Click on the Google Chrome icon. I'm going to go up to the address bar. I'm going to type in download Sublime Text 3 and hit enter. And then I'm going to click download Sublime Text at the top of the page there, and then we're going to click on Windows 64-bit. It's going to download the executable right here. We're going to double click. If it pops up a window asking for permission, hit yes, and then you will get the Welcome to Sublime Text 3 setup wizard. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each step here. So I'm going to click next. It's going to select a destination to save your files. It's going to be in the C drive, program files, Sublime Text. That's fine. We'll hit next. For me, it's going to give me a pop-up because I had this installed before. So I'm going to click yes to replace it. Select additional tasks. We're going to leave that blank and click next. And then it's going to show you where it's going to install. So let's click install. And there you go. So now we have Sublime Text 3 set up, and I want you to click finish here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click the start button. And at the top here, it has Sublime Text 3. So we're going to click there, and we're going to open it up so we can just take a look at it. And that's it. So this is Sublime Text 3 right here. So it has quite a few features. So this is Sublime Text. It has quite a bit so this is Sublime Text. It has quite a bit of features in it. And so in the next video, we're going to install MAMP. I will see you there. Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install MAMP. So let's go to Google Chrome. I'm going to go to the address bar. We're going to click in the address bar, and we're going to type in download MAMP and hit enter. We're going to click on MAMP and MAMP Pro downloads. We're going to click on Windows, and then we're going to click download. All right, now my page here says 1 minute left, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, and I will return once it's done downloading. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So MAMP is done downloading. And now I'm going to click on the executable. I'm going to double click on it. And if you get a pop-up window asking for permission, click yes. And then you're going to get another pop-up with this. Select setup language. So we're going to pick English. It's going to ask if you want to install MAMP Pro with an addition to MAMP. You can install Apple Bonjour. That's fine too. I'm going to click next. I'm going to accept the agreement and click next. It's going to show you where it's going to save. So it's going to save the MAMP folder in the C drive. We'll click next. I already have it installed, so it's going to overwrite what I had before. I'm going to click yes. Select startup menu folder. Yeah, MAMP is fine. We'll click next. And do I want to create a desktop icon? Yes, I do. So I'm going to click next. And we'll click install. So this is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to pause the video again. And when it's just about to the end, I'll come back. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, welcome back. So it's just about done installing now. And there we go. So setup has been complete. So let's click finish. And in the next video, we're going to get started on learning HTML. So I'll see you there. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn HTML. So the first thing I want you to do is on the desktop, right click, click on new, click on folder. We're going to type in HTML and hit enter. All right, and then we're going to click start and we're going to click Sublime Text 3. I want you to right click on the icon and pin it to the taskbar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up to project, add folder to project, click desktop, and click HTML. Select the folder, and there you go. Now we have HTML, our project, in here. Now the next thing I want you to do is click File, New File. We're going to hit Control S. And if we go to the desktop and select HTML, it should already be in there. And we're going to type in test.html. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to type out the following. Okay? And now it will autofill. And if you were to hit enter, it will create a boilerplate for you. What is a boilerplate? Basically, that's the basic tags you need for an HTML page. So what I'm going to do is I'll go through each tag real quickly and just explain what it is. So this top part, doc type, this has to be in every single HTML page that you build, because this is calling for the doc type. So what kind of doc is it? It's HTML. Then the next tag is an HTML tag. You need that in the page because it's HTML. The head tag is what loads first. So when you go on Google and you look up at the top of the tab, you'll see a title in there. And that's where the title tag is put, is inside the head tag. Also inside of here, they will put the link tag for CSS. Sometimes they'll put script tags in there, but it's highly recommended to put JavaScript or script tags in the body at the bottom. Okay? Speaking of body, the body is where we put all the content. Okay? The main content goes in the body. And you'll notice here that you always close a tag with a slash. So, body's there, and then we close HTML here. So that's the very basics. Now, what I want to do, just real quickly, is we're going to go over some basic tags, and then we're going to continue on in the next video. So, in this instance, what I want to do first is we're going to return 2 times, and I want you to go to line 8, okay? Hit tab, and we're going to type in the following. H1. Now you'll see here that it's going to autofill that for you. It should. If it doesn't, that's okay, because we're going to type it out. Okay, and we're going to close our bracket there with a slash. So we're going to do left bracket slash H1. Okay, so we're going to type, this is my first HTML tag. Okay, very good. Now, if you hit Control, hold Control, and use the right arrow, it will go to the end of the tag. The other trick that you can use is if you're like if you're here and you want to get to the end of the tag, on your keyboard there's an end button. If you hit end, it will go to the end of the tag. And if you wanted to go to the beginning of the tag, you would hit home. Why am I showing you that? It's just, it makes it easier for you when you're going through, if you know a couple shortcuts. You know, it'll pick up your speed basically when you're learning. So it's just a good tool to know. The other thing I recommend is whenever you are coding anything to get started with, like I'm going to hit up and I'm going to hit tab, right? And return. I'm going to show you another, not a tag, but how to comment out code. Okay, so this is my first commented out code. And then we're going to close that with 2 dashes and a right bracket. That is how you would comment out your code. And basically what that means is it's instructions for what this is. So we're going to type, this is my H1 tag. Okay? Now, let's go down and hit end. And we're going to return twice. And then we're going to do this again. So we're going to do the same thing. Left bracket, exclamation point, dash, dash. This is my H2 tag. Okay? And then we're going to type in H2. So we're going to type left bracket, H2, close the bracket, left bracket, slash. And when you type in the slash, it's going to autofill for you. And then we'll hit Control, we'll hold Control and hit the left arrow, hit it again, and it will go to the center of the tag. So this is the H2 tag. Okay? Now we're going to do that with the H3 as well. So this is the H3 tag. Okay? We'll close that, we'll end that comment, and then we're going to type it out. H3. This is the H3 tag. Okay? And do it again. This is the H4 tag. Okay? And we're going to type in H4. I'm going to hit enter because it's asking me to autofill. This is the H4 tag. Okay? And then let's do H5. So we're going to do this is the H5 tag. Close that, and we're going to do H5, hit enter. This is the H5 tag. Okay? And then we're going to do it again. This is the H6 tag. Okay, H6. Not H7, there's no H7. All right, let's close that. This is the H6 tag. All right, that looks good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to render this. So let's right click here, and we're going to click Open in Browser. Now you can see right here, this is the H1, this is the H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Perfect. Okay, so let's close the browser, and I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to type in the title tag, this is my first web page. We're going to hit Control S to save, because whenever you make a change, so if I were to hit a space bar, okay, you see this up here, the little dot, to my right, when you see that dot, you need to save. So either do File, Save, or do Control S. That way you don't lose your work, because that's the worst feeling in the world is you build out this beautiful website and then you don't save your code. Always, always, always save after you do about, I would do maybe 3 lines of code and then save. And a good rule of thumb is to even do it sooner than that. Do it after 1 line of code and save. It takes 1/10 of a second to hit Control S. You know what I mean? Like you can keep going from there. All right, so in the next video, we're going to continue learning more, excuse me, we're going to continue learning more HTML tags. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue learning more HTML tags. So, on the previous video, we learned the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6 tags, okay, which is a great start. We also learned about the basic structure of an HTML page with the doc type, the HTML tag, the head tag, the title tag, and the body tag. So we're going to work in the head tag for a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to return. I'm going to go right above the title tag here and hit return. And then we're going to hit the down arrow and I'm going to hit end and hit return again. So what I like to do is when I'm coding, I like to leave a lot of space so it's easy to read and I know exactly where my code is. Okay, because the neater your code is, the easier it's going to be. Because when you have 1,000 lines of code, it's going to be a nightmare if everything is mushed together. Trust me, I've been there. All right, so let's comment out the title tag because we're going to keep practicing this technique of commenting out our code. This is the title tag. How about this is the title of the page? Something like that. So that way you know what it is. Obviously we know what a title is, but if you have somebody that doesn't understand that and they see this, they'll be able to edit it for you. Okay? So let's hit enter twice. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a new tag. So first we're going to comment it out. So we're going to do, this is the link tag used for CSS and other tasks. Okay? Close that. And then what we're going to do is left bracket, link. And we're going to close it like so. Now, if we were to add CSS, which we're going to do, and we're just going to link a blank file, so nothing's going to work at this point, but let me delete this for 1 second, just so I can show you, okay? So let's do left bracket, link. Now, if you autofill this, so if you hit enter, it's going to show you a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't want you to get confused, so here's the thing. It's basically, the link tag is for, the REL is style sheet, so that's for CSS. The type is text/CSS. So these are 2 parameters that are calling for CSS. Now if we were to link to CSS, we would do something like this. We would do CSS/main.css, for example. And basically what that's saying is, CSS is a folder or a directory that we're calling, and it has main.css inside of that folder. So it would be calling that, and that's how you link CSS to your HTML page, okay? So for this example, we'll leave it there. And let's do one more, okay? So let's comment this out. This is a link to my CSS, okay? Something like that. And then we'll do the same thing. So we'll do link, and like I say, let Sublime autofill it for you, because by allowing them to type out the syntax for you, it'll make it easier for you to remember the syntax. And remember, we're going to Control S to save, okay? So I'm going to do CSS test.css, okay? And then we're going to save. So nothing on here is going to work, but I'm going to show you something. If you right click and you open in the browser and you go to, we were in Google Chrome here, and we right click and we hit click inspect. They have an elements area where you can go through and you can grab elements and style it over here on the right, here's the other thing. If you go to console, you're going to see that we failed to load the resources. So it did not find main.css. It did not find test.css. And the reason why it didn't is because we don't have those files. They don't exist. So this is a good thing to show you, because when you run into problems like this, you'll be able to debug quickly and say, well, I don't have that folder, so it's not going to work. Okay? So I just wanted to show you that quick. So let me close that. We're going to close the browser down. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to another tag. So below the H6, we're going to create another tag, and we're going to comment it out first. So this is the nav tag. Okay, so let's close that, and we're going to type in left bracket nav and let, again, Sublime autofill it. Okay, we're going to return one more time and go to line 38. Now, inside the nav tag, what's the purpose of the nav tag? Well, the nav is normally at the top of the page or on the left side of the page or on the right side in some instances. It's very important. The navigation is a very important part of the web page because it's basically directing people where to go. Think of it as like an index or a directory, a table of contents on a book. That's the navigation. So you're basically creating one area where you can find the main content and then have sub-content if you need to, okay? So what we would do is, if we were creating a nav, we would need links. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a couple new tags. So let's comment this out. This is the image tag. Okay, and then we're going to type in left bracket img, and we're going to type nothing. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to type in a source. So we're going to do a website that I use all the time, and this is called http://placeholder.com// let's do 300 by 300. Okay, let's Control S. Let's render this. So right click, open in browser, and it didn't work. Okay, so let's open another tab here real quick. Let's go to placeholder.com, and let me grab this code right here. I must have put in the wrong information here, so let me paste that in here. Okay, and I'm going to right click again and open in the browser, and now we should have an image. So it's 350 by 150. So basically what I did is I went to placeholder.com, and placeholder.com has images that don't have any content in it. They just have numbers, and it's a gray image, so it's a filler. And basically what you can do is, if you type in placeholder and then you do a backslash and you type in the resolution you want, 350 by 150, which is a width times a height. If you type that in, it'll show that right here. Okay, so I'm going to close this out. I'm going to close that out, and I'm going to show you one more tag. Okay, so we're going to go back to our code, and we're going to type in, we're going to comment this out first. This is the anchor tag. Okay, comment that out. And let's do, let me go back, and I'm going to type in left bracket, and then I'm going to type in A, and if you hit enter, it will autofill. We're going to hold shift and type in the number 3 button, or the hashtag, and in between the A tag, we're going to type, this is my first link. Control S to save, right click to render, open in the browser. This is my first link. Beautiful. Now, the other thing we can do with this is, if we were to copy this, so let's copy this, okay? Return twice, paste with Control V, make sure you save, right click, open in the browser, and now we have 2 links. This is my first link, this is my first link. So you can see that it creates the navigation horizontally right next to each other. So in the next video, I'm going to show you some more HTML tags. All right, I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to continue learning HTML tags. So what I want to teach you next is the paragraph tag. So we're going to click on nav, and we're going to double return twice. Not double return, but just return twice. We're going to comment this out first. This is the paragraph tag. Close that. Then type in left bracket, P, right bracket. Okay, left bracket, backslash, it'll autofill. Okay, then we're going to go in the middle. We're going to return twice. Actually, one more. And then go to line 52 if you're on the same line I am. And we're going to type in, this is the paragraph inside the paragraph tag. Beautiful. Okay, so now what I'm going to show you is we're going to learn a couple more elements here. So the next tag we're going to learn, and we're going to comment this out. This is the section tag. Now, what is the section tag? Basically what that is, it's a container. So it will hold your content. So if we type in section and we hit enter because it's autofilling, and we return 3 times, and we go to the middle, and I type in paragraph, this is a test, okay? And we hit Control S to save. Now let's right click and render this, and you can see that this is a test is similar to the paragraph above it, but this is in a container. So anything that you added in here, if we were to move this section down, the paragraph would go with it because it's inside a container. So think of a section as a container. Okay, so let's close down our browser for a second. Now I'm going to show you another version of a container, but this container requires a width and a height. This is a div. It's called a div. So we're going to comment this out first. This is the div tag. So the div, we're going to do, okay, let's close that. Okay, now we'll do the same thing. We're going to do a paragraph. This is another test. Control S to save, right click, open in the browser, and it's the same thing. It's a container, and it's basically where it needs to be. Now, I'll show you another trick. If I were to do the BR tag, which is a break, okay, and we're going to comment this out so we know what it is. This is the break tag. I'm going to show you what it does. We'll save that, right click, open in the browser, and now you see there's a space. So basically the break is like a return on Word or a return on a web page. It'll push it down one row and say, oh, I don't want it to be right next to it, I want to be down here. Now if we were to go back in there and copy this, okay, and then paste it here, and let's space that so we can read it, and right click and open in the browser. Now we're down here instead of where we were just a second ago. Now I'll delete that. Okay, and you'll see it's going to move up a little bit. There you go. So it moved up. Alright, so that's the break tag. We've learned the section tag, the break tag, the paragraph tag, and the div tag. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to learn the, let's see here, which one did I want to show you? The UL tag. Okay, so the UL, we're going to comment this out first. This is an unordered list. Okay, and then close that, and we'll do a UL. So UL is an unordered list. Okay, so return 3 times, go to line 76 if you're on the same line I am, and then we're going to do an LI tag, which is a list. So we're going to type this is item 1. Hit end, return, and then do another LI. This is item 2. And we're going to comment that out because we want to comment out everything. This is the list tag. Okay? And we'll do it here too. This is the list tag. Okay, there we go. and then we'll Control S to save. We'll right click, and now you'll see that it's got bullet points here. Okay. Now there's another list style that we can use. Instead of an unordered list, we can use the OL tag, which is the ordered list. So we're going to comment this out. This is the ordered list. Now instead of bullets, it's going to give you numbers. So we're going to do left bracket OL, enter to fill it, return 3 times, go to line 87, comment out the list tag. This is the list tag. Okay, and then we're going to do li. This is item 1. Now, instead of typing this out 30 times, click up here, click and drag down to the end of the list tag, and Control C to copy, return twice, Control V to paste. Okay, and then Control S to save, and then we're going to move, click on the left, not click, but hit the left arrow key till we get to 1, hit delete, and then type in 2, Control S to save. Now I'm going to right click, and I'm going to open in the browser. So now we have, this is item 1, this is item 2, and you can see it's numbered. Okay, so that's really the main tags. The tags that we've gone through here are the main tags of HTML. And in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a variety of resources that you can use if you have questions or if you get stuck. There's a lot of stuff out there. I'm available as well for you to text me, email me. I'm available as well. You can email me. You can reach out to me on Udemy, and I'm more than happy to assist you. So in the next video, I'm going to show you a couple resources that you can use to continue learning HTML. All right, I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you a variety of resources that you can look at in case you get stuck on HTML or you want to go further than what I've shown you. Remember, this is just the basics of HTML, and I'm going to teach you more tags as we go along, but this was just an introduction to HTML. So with that in mind, let's go to, open up another tab here. Let's go to google.com, and let's type in Mozilla Developer Network. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter, and we're going to click on MDM Web Docs. Now instead of doing that, let's just click on HTML. And this will give you a in-depth articles about what HTML is, tutorials, references, all that. And this is a very important tool to use because honestly, I don't even know all the tags. Okay, I use probably, I would say 30 tags at most on a daily basis. So I've taught you probably 15 or 20, and those tags are valuable for what we're going to be doing here. But like I say, you're going to learn tags that you have never used before in the future. So with that in mind, I'm just going to show you this real quick. So if you do like introduction to HTML, it'll give you an overview. It has guides. It has what's in the head, metadata in HTML, HTML text fundamentals, creating hyperlinks, advanced text formatting, document and website structure, debugging HTML. And then it will give you other information here. So this is a very valuable tool, and this will get you even further along in your studies in HTML and CSS and in JavaScript and any other languages that you want to learn. They have JavaScript here, they have CSS, they have HTML, and these are very good tutorials and information to follow up with. So that's a very important tool. And so with that in mind, what I'm going to do in the next video is we're going to start learning CSS. So remember, this is a very important information here, MDM Web Docs. It will help you with a lot of different things that will arise. And one thing with programming is you have to learn how to troubleshoot and research solutions. So this is a great tool to find the solutions for any issues that may come up, you know. And remember, programming is fun. It's not something that is scary or anything like that. The key is to have fun with it and to enjoy it and to learn to love it. And once you learn to love it, then this will be second nature to you. I can speak from experience on that. So, and I love coding. I really do. It's a lot of fun. So with that in mind, I'm going to see you in the next video, and we're going to start learning CSS. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to start to learn the basics of CSS. And so I have our trusty resource up that I left you off with in the previous page. And I clicked on Styling the Web, Introduction to CSS. So, how does CSS work? Well, let's read this information real quick. So CSS, Cascading Style Sheets, allows you to create great looking web pages, but how does it work under the hood? This article explains what CSS is, how the browser turns HTML into a document object model, DOM, how CSS is applied to parts of the DOM, some very basic syntax examples, and what code is used to actually include our CSS in our web page. Okay, so what is CSS? CSS is a language for specifying how documents are presented to users, how they are styled and laid out, etc. So, for example, this page was all built in CSS. If we were to go in and eliminate the CSS, all this would look like the page that you built in the previous section. That's what CSS is. CSS, how does it affect HTML? Web browsers apply CSS rules to a document to affect how they are displayed. A CSS rule is formed from a set of properties and a selector. So what are the properties? Properties which have values set to update how the HTML content is displayed. For example, I want my element's width to be 50% of its parent element, and its background to be red. A selector which selects the elements you want to apply to the updated property value. 2, for example, I want to apply my CSS rule to all paragraphs in my HTML document. So a selector, there's 3 types of selectors. You have elements, which are HTML elements. You have IDs, and you have classes. So classes, you can give a class to, for example, the body, not the body, but the H1. We could give it a class of hello world, okay? And then we could give the paragraph tag the same one. We could give that hello world. And then if we went into the CSS and we typed in dot hello world and then gave it a color of blue, background yellow, and a border of 1 pixel solid black, then it would grab the H1 and the paragraph and give both of those that property, which is what you're calling for. Now an ID is similar to an element. You can only put it on one element. So if you do H1, you could give the H1 an ID of hello world, and it would be H1 hashtag hello world, and then whatever the properties are. So that's the basics of CSS. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to go into the code now, and I'm going to show you how to set all that up, and then we're going to come back here to finish up this video, and then we'll have more information on the next video. Alright, so let's go into Sublime Text, and this was where we left off in the previous video, building out the HTML, and this is a perfect place to start coding CSS. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in the head tag below the CSS, and we're going to comment this out. This is internal CSS. Now I highly am against this only because it's highly recommended and good practice to code your CSS on a separate file, because these pages tend to get long. I mean, you can see what we've been doing here. We have almost 100 lines of code. We have 98 lines of code because of all the spacing. So imagine trying to style this and you come back and you have 200 lines of HTML code. That's ridiculous. HTML should never be that long because it's structure. You're building just the basic structure, okay? So I'm going to give this the left bracket and type in style, give it the right bracket. Let's do left and a slash to close it, and then we're going to return 3 times, okay? And we're going to line 17. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in H1. I'm going to type in the left curly brace. By holding shift, you hit the left curly brace, it's going to grab both. Okay, now if we hit enter, now we can start typing our properties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in color. We're going to do red, color, colon, red. Okay, and let's give it a background of purple. We'll just do some wild styling here. Okay, and always, always, always close your property. Okay, right click, open in the browser, and now you can see our really ugly looking CSS. So we have red text and a purple background. Now if we went back and we did H2, we're going to return twice, type in H2, left curly brace, hold shift, left curly brace, hit enter, and now we're going to do, let's do margin top 20 pixels. Okay. Whoop, that's not 20, that's, there we go, 20 pixels. Okay, now let's go back, and I don't think that worked. Let me see here. Okay, let's give it a color of green. Let's do that first. Okay, let's save that, and if you hit Alt Tab, it'll go, if you hold Alt, and hit Tab, you can tab between your windows. Okay, so there we go. Now the text is green, and I'm going to make this 220. Let's right click and open that in the browser. Okay, the margin worked. So what we did was we did margin top from this element down to this element. This was the element that we were pushing. So we are pushing this away from the H1. So the H2 is 220 pixels from the top of the H1, okay? H3, let's do background black with 200 pixels, 300 pixels. Let's do 300 pixels. Color blue. Okay, Control S to save, right click, open in the browser, and there you go. This is a H3 tag, and we gave it a width of that. So you see what it can do. This is just very basic stuff, obviously, but I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to do margin left. Actually, let's do text align. Text align center. Hit enter, Control S to save, right click, open in the browser, and why didn't that work? Let me see here. Nope, it didn't. Oh, it did work. Because we gave it a background. So here's the thing. I thought it didn't work for some reason. When I opened it in the browser, I'm like, it's not working. But actually it is, because if you see here, we gave it a width of 300 pixels, and it put it in the middle of the width. So it's exactly in the middle of, from the left and the right. So that's correct. It's in the middle. So that worked. So now in the next video, we're going to continue learning more about CSS, and we're also going to learn more in here about different rules and things that they have in here. And I'm looking forward to showing you that. So I'll see you in the next video where we're going to learn more CSS. All right. So I'll see you in the next video. So we're going to continue learning in the next video, and I'll see you there. I'll see you in the next video. All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue talking about CSS. And in the previous video, we used internal style sheet. So what we did was we created the style tag here, as you can see in this example. and we started writing out our code based on that. Now what I want to show you is in inline styles, which is similar to what we were doing before, but instead of putting it up here, you're basically going to add it to that line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I'm actually going to copy all of this code. I think you can, nope, I guess that doesn't work. All right, grab the H1 tag, right click, hit copy. We're going to go into Sublime Text into our project, and I'm going to add this at the bottom of the page. So we're going to comment this out. This is inline CSS. Okay. There you go. And so what we did was we did H1 style equals color blue, background color of yellow, border 1 pixel solid black. Hello world. Okay, so now let's right click and open this. And you can see right here, hello world, the width, the color, the border, the background color, and then the color of the text. Okay, so that's inline styling. But I'm going to persuade you, try to anyway, to not use this method or this method up here at a very minimum rate, if you can help it. The reason why is because what I told you before. You see how we have 121 lines of code? That was from just adding a little bit of code here. And the reason why you have so many lines here is because of all the spacing. But the spacing also makes it easier to read. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the HTML folder here. We're going to right click. We're going to click new folder. We're going to type in CSS. We're going to hit enter to save it. And inside of here, and actually let's rename this lowercase CSS and then hit enter. Okay, and then if we go into the CSS folder, if we go into the CSS folder and right click and click new file, okay, and if we hit Control S, if we hit Control S and we type in main.css, okay, and we go back to test.html, and let's go to the top of the page, and there's main.css, and we type in body, okay, and then we do the curly brace. So we do shift left curly brace, return, and let's do color red, font family Roboto. Yes, I said Roboto. And then let's do font size 2Ms and save that. Now let's right click on our test.html file, open it in the browser, and you're going to see that all the text has gotten bigger, because what we did was we gave the body a property in our main.css of font family Roboto, color red, and the font size is 2Ms. So all the tags are going to be red except for the ones that we did inline, and this is why I'm showing you this. Anything you did here in the internal CSS or the inline will overwrite the external. Okay? So that's why you see hello world is bigger, but the properties have stayed the same because it was internal and inline. This was inline and this was internal. Okay? This was internal. The purple background was internal, and I gave it a color of red, so it already had that property. But these two, because they were internal, overwrite external. So inline is first, internal is second, and external is third in terms of permissions. So the top would be inline, internal, external. Okay? So that's a great way to see that. The other thing too with the external is it's easier to troubleshoot, because if you don't have it linked, the CSS isn't going to show up. So you'll know right away what's going on. See right here, failed to load resources. So it's looking for test.css. So let's delete that from our file here, and I'm going to show you what it's going to do here in a second. Let's see here. Okay, so right here, let's go right up. We're going to click right here, left click and drag up to there, hit delete, and Control S. We'll right click, open in the browser, right click, inspect, and we're going to go to console, and now there's no errors. And that's a great thing because all the code is clean and it's running the way it's supposed to. So fantastic work on that. So in the next video, I'm going to teach you some more CSS. We're going to talk about pseudo selectors and a couple other things, and I will see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk more about CSS, and we're going to talk about pseudo classes and pseudo elements. Okay, so let's go to that. I'm going to open that in a new tab. So if you right click, click open a new link, click there. Okay, so pseudo classes. So what are pseudo classes? A pseudo class is a keyword presented by a colon added to the end of a selector to specify what you want to style the selected element, and only when they are in a certain state. So for example, if you wanted to do a hover, you would do colon hover. You can do visited, valid, target, scope, root, write, required, read write, read only, out of range, optional, etc., etc. So there's a lot of pseudo classes, okay? They have about 30 of them. But the ones that we're going to talk about and use is we're going to use hover, what was the other one? Active. These are the two that I'm going to use. So this is the fun thing about coding as well, is there's so much information out there and there's so many things being added all the time, is you can go in and you can start fiddling with it and add these pseudo selectors to your file and really have fun with it. And you also have this resource where you can click on it and it will show you what it is. So for example, active, you would do anchor, colon, active, and then the color. And it will, this link will turn lime when you click on it. So if you did a link, color blue, that would be when it's unvisited. So like this, that would be the result. When you hover over it, the background color is yellow. Active, it would be lime. So let's click on it. There you go. So it turns lime. And then when it was visited, it turns purple. So those are different states and different pseudo selectors that you can use. We're going to be using visited, not visited, hover and active a lot in this project that we're going to be doing in the next couple of videos. So I just wanted to show you the basics here, and the active and the hover are very important pseudo selectors because you're going to use those a lot in the navigation. For example, this right here, this element that they have with the underlined, that is probably, let's inspect it real quick and just see what they did. So if you click on HOV, click active, let's do hover. Okay, so hover, visited, what's visited? Nope, okay, I guess not. They just show that when you, I guess when you just hover down, it's an effect. Yep, it's an effect. Oh, I see what they're doing. So what they're doing is when you go to example, it highlights it, and then specifications, it highlights, and browser compatibility. So both of these are showing, so it pops up here. So when you hover over it, it turns white. So that's a pseudo selector that they're using. And then when you go off of that, it just goes back to the normal color. So that's a great example too, is to see how that works. Now let me go back to how CSS works real quick. And we're going to do selectors. Let's click on selectors. Okay, so the basics. So selectors, there's simple selectors, which is a class and an ID. Attribute selectors match one or more elements based on their attribute values. Pseudo classes match one or more elements that exist in certain state. Pseudo elements match one or more parts of content that are in a certain position. Combinators, These are not exactly selectors themselves, but ways of combining two or more selectors. We're going to be doing this a lot in the next video, so I'll show you that. Multiple selectors. Again, there is no separate selectors. The idea is that you can put multiple selectors on the same CSS rule, separated by commas, to apply a single set of declarations to all the elements selected by those selectors. And the reason that they do that is the common word in coding is do not repeat yourself. So if you have a property that you wanted to give to 5 elements, instead of typing out h1 and then the property and then h2 and then the property, you would do h1 comma h2 h3 h4 h5 all with commas, and then you would write out the property. That way it condenses your code, and if you're just giving it that one property, it's not going to hurt anybody. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to get started on building our project. We're going to build a 5-page website with HTML, and then we're going to style it with CSS. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build out every page, and then we're going to style every page. So we'll build the home page, then we'll style it. Then we'll build the services page, then we'll style it. We'll build the portfolio page, and then we'll style it, etc., etc. So in the next video, I will see you there, and let's get started on our project. All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk a little more about CSS, and then in the next video, we're going to start a project. All right? So in the last video, I was talking about simple selectors, attribute selectors, pseudo classes, elements, pseudo elements, multiple selectors, combinators, etc., etc. So all these are very important. And so what we're going to do is we're going to click on pseudo classes and pseudo elements, because I want to go over this real quick. We went over the pseudo classes, but we haven't gone over the pseudo elements. So that's what I want to look at right now. So they have pseudo elements are very much like pseudo classes, but they have differences. They are keywords. This is time preceded by 2 colons. This time preceded by 2 colons that can be added to the end of selectors to select a certain part of an element. So you can do, so they all have very specific behaviors and interesting features, but digging into them all in detail is beyond our scope for now. That's true. But let's look at what they have here. So all elements with an attribute of href, which values start with HTTP, will be added an arrow after its content to indicate it's an external link. So basically what they're doing is, if you were to add this tag, okay, not this tag, but a pseudo element, basically what you're doing is you're creating an extra effect. And what they're doing here is all the elements, so you see how they commented this out, all elements with the attribute href, which values start with HTTP, will be added an arrow after its content to indicate it's an external link. So what they're doing is they're adding an icon to it to show that it's an external link. And the only way to do that is through the pseudo element, because it gives you the ability to customize this content. And that's just one example. So that's after. You can do before, you can do first letter, first line, selection, and backdrop. And so I just wanted to share this with you so you can check it out and investigate a little bit more. What I'm going to do now is we're going to get ready for the project. So in the next video, we're going to create a 5-page website, which will be your project. And then we're also going to style the 5-page website. So I'm very excited to get started on that, because this is the fun part, you know. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. All right, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to give you an introduction to the 5-page website that we're going to build. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the MAMP folder, and this is the icon, but actually I want to go to, I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut. We're going to hit Window key and E together. Okay, and then I'll pop up this Explorer, and I want you to click on this PC, or my computer, local disk, C, click on MAMP, htdocs, and you'll see here they have an index and a MAMP logo. So I want you to select that, hit delete. Okay, I want you to right click, and we're going to call this demo.com. Okay, now go inside of there, right click, click new, and type in CSS. Do the same thing, right click, click new, folder, do IMG, and that will do it. So close this down, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to double click on MAMP now on our little icon here, and we're going to turn on the server, okay? Because right now I may not, okay, so it's on. But make sure this is on, okay? And then click Open Start Page. Okay. Why is it doing that? That's weird. Let's look at this and see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to type in localhost. There's demo.com. Okay, so it's working. So this is going to be our environment now. So we're not going to be using any more of this. I'm going to close all that out. And this is what we're going to be working off of. So hit demo.com and then just minimize this page. And what we're going to do is we're going to minimize that. And let's go into Sublime Text where we have our project here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click File, New Window, and we're going to close the project we had before. Okay, so we have a brand new window open. We're going to click Project, Add Folder to Project, click this PC, Local Disk C, MAMP, htdocs, demo.com. Select the folder, and now we have our CSS folder and our image folder right there. And if we type HTML, no, that's my incorrection. I'm going to hit Control N, and we're going to hit Control S. We're going to type in index.html, but we're not going to save yet because you see where we're at here. We're in the CSS folder, so we want to click HTML and click desktop because we're not going to save it on the desktop. We're going to click this PC, local disk C, MAMP, htdocs, demo.com. Now hit save. Okay. So what we did was we saved it in here, and now what we're going to do from now on is we're just going to right click here and make a new file, make a new folder, that kind of thing. So let's do that. In the CSS folder, if you right click on the CSS folder, click new file, hit Control S, type in main.css, and make sure when you're up here that you're checking the directories. So it's MAMP, htdocs, demo.com, CSS. Okay? So there's main.css, so we're going to save that. And that's good. Okay, and we're good to go. So, one more thing I'm going to do is we're going to type in HTML. We're going to hit Tab. Okay, and then we're going to do our spacing. So we're going to go like that, and that's fine there. And we're going to comment this out. So this is going to be title of the page. Okay. And so we're going to give it a title. So it's going to be called Demo. I'm going to hit Shift, and if you look at where the delete key is on your keyboard, to the left of that is like a pipe character. Hit that, and then we're going to type in Home. Okay. Now one more thing I want to do is I want to set up the CSS before we go to the next video. So we're going to do left bracket, link, enter. And then we're going to type in CSS/main.css. We're going to hit Control S to save that. We're going to open up main.css. Excuse me. And we're going to type in body, left curly brace, return, font size 50 pixels. Actually, no. Background color. Background black. Okay. Save that, go back to index.html, open in the browser, and if we go here and return and refresh localhost/demo.com, you'll see that the background is black and our CSS is linked. Okay, so minimize that. Let's go here and we're going to delete all this. And in the next video, we're going to structure and build the structure for the home page. I'll see you there. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to build the home page. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start at the top. We're going to build out a navigation. Then we're going to add an image and add some content. So let's do that. So let's comment out our navigation first. This is the navigation. Okay, let's do left bracket, nav, right bracket, left bracket, backslash. There it is. Turn a couple times, and we're going to do img id equals logo. We're going to give it a source equal to http 4jmedia.co/lecture/logo/logo.png. Okay, then we're going to do alt logo. Whoops, that's a line. I want alt. There we go. Alt logo. Okay, then we're going to do an anchor tag. Anchor class equals active. So that's that pseudo class that we were talking about earlier. href index.html, and we're going to do home, and let's make sure we close the anchor tag. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to copy this, but when I do that, I have to make sure that I get rid of the active class, because the next links that we create are not going to be active. So this is going to be services.html. We can double click that, copy it, paste it here, and then just change the S. We'll hit end, return twice, whoop, and let's paste that in, and we're going to do portfolio, lowercase, portfolio, and then let's delete this, and we're going to type in portfolio. Okay, and we'll hit end, and let's copy this, and then we're going to return twice, paste that in, hit about. Okay, go back a little bit, and about. Paste that again, and this time we'll do contact. Okay. And so we have the navigation built. So let's right click and we're going to inspect this. And there you go. So we have the logo, the home, services, portfolio, about, contact. But we actually want to do it here. Okay, good. So that didn't work. I don't know why, but I'm going to copy this and let me just see why that's not working. Unless my site is down. Let me just take a look here real quick. Yeah, it works. Okay, so that's really weird. It's not working. That's okay. All right, so for now, we'll just leave that be. We're going to fix this in a little bit. So let's build the section. Pause 1 second. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to build the section for the slideshow. So we're going to make a section, turn 3 times, go to line 32, type in image ID slideshow. Okay, and then we're going to give it a source of our friends over at placeholder.com. And it's actually going to be via, so VIA, placeholder.com/1920 by 540. Okay, let's save that. Right click, let's go back in the browser, and there's our image. Beautiful. Now another thing we need to do is we need to add the normalize, and we need to comment this out. So let's make a correction on that. So we're going to call this main CSS, and then below that I want to do normalize CSS. Okay, now you're probably wondering what is normalize. Well, I'm going to show you. So we're going to copy this. We're going to right click, we're going to copy, and we're going to go into here. There we go. Let's go to a new tab and paste that in. And we're going to grab, we need to add CDN to that. So CDN, there it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on normalize cdnjs.com. And what this is this will add some CSS that we need to add for formatting. So let me just show you real quick. So we're going to add a link, hit enter, and then we're going to paste in the code with Control V, which is the link to normalize. So let's open in the browser, and now you see how everything is pushed up against the left side of the page and the top left. So the logo is up here, and then that's there. So what I'm going to do, since my logo didn't work, which is weird, let me go in here. I'm going to grab this, and I'll make this available in the resources section. I'm going to download this, and we're going to call it, oh, I already got it there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll add this to the resources area, and you'll be able to grab it from there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the logo. Where's the logo? Right here. Okay, so I'm going to grab the logo. I'm going to hit Window key E. I'm going to go into this PC, local C drive, MAMP, htdocs, demo.com, image. I'm going to paste in my logo. Okay, and then I'm going to link this on our page. Okay, so instead of this, it's going to be image/logo.png. Okay, we're going to save that, right click, open in the browser, refresh. What? Okay, wait a minute. What? Okay, it doesn't work. I don't know why. That's okay. For now, we're going to leave that, and I'll find the problem with it, and then we'll make a correction. So for right now, we'll leave that as is. That's really strange. Okay, so now that we've added the slideshow, what we're going to do is we're going to add another section, and we're going to give this an ID of paragraph. Okay, and then we're going to close that section, return 3 times, go to line 42, save it, go to Chrome, and we're going to type in a new tab with a Control T, lorem ipsum. And we're going to grab this here, and I want to grab all this. Okay, so we're just going to grab this. I'm going to right click, copy. We're going to go back into Sublime. And let's see, there we go. And we're going to make a p tag here, okay? Paste that in. I'm going to add a break, so we'll do 2 breaks. Another p tag. Let's tab in a couple times. Paste that. Okay. Okay, we'll paste that in. So we'll have 3 paragraphs. I'll right click, we'll open in the browser. There you go. So we have all 3 in the browser there. Then we're going to add the footer, and then we'll be done with this section. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create a footer with the footer tag. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to return one more time, go to line 61. We're going to type in P. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want to give an ID of footer text, and then we're going to close the p tag. There we go. And we're going to do copyright and copy. semicolon, demo 2018. Okay, I'm going to right click, open that in the browser, and you can see the copyright with the copyright logo right there. And that's our home page. So in the next video, we're going to build the services page in HTML. All right, I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to build out the services page. So the first thing I want to do is I want to select all the code from the index.html page with Control A. Control C is going to copy that content, and then we're going to right click on demo.html and we're going to click New File. We're going to hit Control S. We're going to type out services.html. We're going to paste in that code, and we're going to start from the top, and we're going to change the title to services, and then we're going to eliminate the class active from index.html, and we're going to add that to the services area. Okay, so let's save that. I think the paragraphs are okay. And the image we're going to change the size of. We're going to keep everything else the same. And we're going to change it to services slideshow or slide. Okay, and we're going to change the aspect ratio from 1920 by 540 to 1200 by 300. Okay, so let's right click, open that in the browser, and there you go. You can see the services page. Okay, now I want to give this a H1 so we can identify what page we're on. Okay, so let's comment this out. Page name, and we're going to give it an H1 with an ID of page title. Okay, and then we're going to close that H1 and we're going to call it services. Okay, and then let's right click and open that, and there you go. So we got services and then the content, and then we're going to add H1s here. There we go. All right, so let's do this. Let's do H1 plan A, and we're going to give it a couple breaks, so we'll add 2 breaks in there. Okay, and I'm going to copy this with Control C, and we're going to do the same thing here and the same thing here. Okay, so we'll call this plan C, and this will be plan B. Okay, we'll right click, open in the browser, and there you go. We got plan A, plan B, and plan C with services. And then we want to add the footer in there too, which is already there. So we don't need to add anything. So that's all we have for this video. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to build out the portfolio page. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the portfolio page. All right, so let's go into Sublime. And we're going to Control A, Control C to copy, and right click on demo.com, click New File, Control V to paste, Control S to save, and we're going to call this portfolio.html. Okay, let's go to the top of the page, and we're going to type in portfolio. Okay, and then page title, we're going to give it the same, and we're going to change that to portfolio. Sorry about that. And then we're going to change the class active from services to portfolio. Save that. And then we're going to change the then we're going to create a section for the, we're going to delete all this because we don't need any of this. Okay, so we're going to create a section. So let's give it a section with an ID of project 1. Okay, we're going to close that section. Return a couple more times. There you go. And then we're going to give it an image with an ID of project 1 IMG. We'll do image. and then a source of HTTP place hold.it/700 by 300. Okay? And then we're going to give it a div ID project 1. Okay? And then we're going to do an H1 with project 1. And then we're going to do a p tag with a class of project 1/p. And let's grab some lorem ipsum. So what we're going to do, let's return twice, and actually 3 times. And I want you to go to services and grab the lorem ipsum here that we used. Right click, hit copy, paste that in here, and then after the p tag, we're going to add an anchor tag with a class of project 1 button with an href of hashtag, which means it's a dead link, and then we're going to do view project. Okay, we'll control S to save that. Let's right click and look at it, open the browser. There you go. So there's project 1. So you got your image, project 1, the text, and the view project. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy all this section with the ID of project 1. We're going to copy all that. We're going to return. And what we're going to do is wherever you see 1, I want you to hold control and click right behind it. Okay? So what that's going to do is the cursor is going to select all those items. We're going to hit delete, type in 2. Okay? We'll hit Control S to save. Now if you just click off anywhere in the open space, it'll turn that off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select the section again, and we're going to paste this below it, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to put the cursor behind the 2, and now we're going to hold control. Whoop, I messed it up. Let's try that again. Here we go. Concentrate, focus. Okay, there we go. We'll delete, type in 3, Control S, right click, save in the browser. Bango, there it is. So we got portfolio, project 1, project 1, project 1. Let's go back. We're going to change this to project 2 and project 3. Okay. Open in the browser. There you go. So now we have the home, services, and the portfolio pages built. And in the next video, we're going to build out the about page. I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build the about page. So what I want to do is Control A to select all from the portfolio.html page. Control C to copy. We're going to right click on demo.com, click new file, Control S to save. We're going to type in about.html, hit enter, and then we're going to Control V to paste that in, and we're going to start from the top to the bottom. So let's edit the title of the page. So let's do about. We'll go to the navigation. We'll change the class active from portfolio to about. Okay, and we're going to change this to about. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the name of this from project 1 to about dash image. We're going to change this resolution. So it's going to be 750 by 550. Save that. And then project 1, that's good. And this is going to be about our business. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to give this a class of about-p, and we're going to do a whole bunch of breaks. So we're going to grab this, we're going to copy that with Control C, we're going to return twice, give it 2 breaks, paste that in, do the same thing again. Whoop. And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy now. So I'm going to copy the 2 breaks and the paragraph tag, and we're going to copy this and paste it in for a total of 4 paragraphs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to right click, open in the browser. There's the about page, there's that, and then about our business. The rest of this we can delete. So we don't need the This, we don't need that. We can keep the section there, but we need to delete all this all the way down to footer. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to right click, open that in the browser. And that's all I have for this page. So in the next video, we're going to build out the contact page. I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to build out the contact page. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to follow the similar steps that we've done in the other videos, and we're going to copy from the About page. We're going to Control A, Control C to copy. And then we're going to hit Control N to open a new file, Control S to save, and we're going to type in contact.html. Hit Enter, Control V to paste in the code, Control S to save to make sure that we have it saved, and then we're going to start from the top and edit our way down. So we're going to do contact. We're going to move over the class active from about to contact. We're going to change the name of the title of the page to contact, and then do contact our business, and then let's open in the browser, take a look, and so you see we're on the contact.html page. We have a contact for the title. We're going to get rid of this image here, so let's do that right now. Okay, and let's open in the browser. Okay, and then we're going to delete just the P tag here. So hit delete. Open in the browser. There you go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build out a form. So let me look here. All right, so let's go into our code here. And what I want to do is let's actually delete this entire section. Because we don't need this, we're going to add a form to the page, and so we don't need section and all that. We're just going to do form. Okay, so let's tab in, and we're going to comment this out. Start of contact form. Okay, and then we're going to type in form, hit enter, return 3 times, go to line 41, and we're going to type in label, full name, colon. Save that. Right above this, we're going to type in, we'll comment this out, label, full name. That way we know what it is. Then we're going to highlight both lines, return twice, paste that, and we're going to do phone number. So we'll change it here first in the comments. Then we'll copy it, and we'll paste it in here. And then we're going to do that again for email address. So we're going to do email, address, okay, and then email address. So let's do it there. All right, now let's highlight that, return twice, and we're going to do message, label message, okay, and we're going to do message for the label as well. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top under label full name and return twice, and we're going to comment this out first, full name input. And then we're going to do an input tag. So we're going to type in input type equals text. And that should be it. Let's take a look at this. Let's right click and open in the browser. And there you go. We have full name. That looks good. So we're going to Alt Tab will take you back if you just like that. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to return twice after phone number. Paste it in, and we're going to do phone number input. So we'll just paste it in there. And I believe it's, yep, it should be the same. So let's right click, open in the browser. And so we have full name, phone number. We're going to do the same with email address. And then we're going to change it for, let's go to email address, return twice. So we're going to do email address input. Okay. Open in the browser, so we got full name, phone number, email address. And if we go back for the final, for this one, it's actually going to be a different type. So let's return twice after message. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in message input. And we're going to do input type. Actually, we're not going to do input type. We're going to delete input. We're going to do text area. So let's do text area rows equal 10. Columns equal 100. And we'll close it with that. Okay, so now let's right click and open this in the browser. And now we have full name, phone number, email address, message. Okay, so let's go back. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, we're going to do a break in between each one. So after full name input, let's do a break. Let's right click, open in the browser, and now you see full name is right here. So what I'm going to do, and remember to save every time. Okay, so we're going to copy the break. So let's highlight it, Control C to copy, and we're going to go below phone number input. We're going to return twice, Control V, and then Control S. We're going to go below email input, Control V, Control S, and let's right click and open in the browser. And now it looks more like a contact form. Okay, now the only thing we're missing here is a button. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a break below the message input, and then we're going to return twice, and we're going to comment this out, submit button. Okay, and then we're going to type in button type equals submit, and that's it. And then we're going to type in send message and close that button tag. And then we're going to right click, and there you go. So we have our contact form. So we got contact, full name, phone number, email address, message, and send message. Now it's not going to go anywhere, and that's okay. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to style the entire website. So you see here how we have all these pages and the text is all over the place, and the logo is not showing up. No problem. We're going to fix all that in the next video. So I'll see you there. Alright, welcome back. In this video we're going to style the home page, and we're going to fix our logo problem. So we're going to do this on every page. So I'm going to click the X on each of the pages above here, even the index page, and I want to open one by one and fix the logo issue. So we're going to open up the index.html. I'm going to delete the image completely. Okay, and we're going to do image, and it will autofill if you hit enter. And we're going to type in img/logo.png. Okay, we'll right click, we'll open it in the browser, and you can see that the image is right here. It's hard to see because it's a white background and it's transparent with a white border. So you aren't going to completely see it, and that's okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to give it an ID of logo. And we're going to right click, open in the browser, and there it is. So whatever we had typed in before, it was interfering with what we had, even though this is the same exact code. And so we're just going to copy this. Okay, let's go to the services page. Just copy this in. Okay, go to portfolio, copy it in. About, copy it in, and contact. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close all these. So contact, about, portfolio, and services we're going to close, and now we're going to work on this one. So let's right click, open it in the browser. Okay, so you see here what we have. I have an image here, I have the navigation, I have the logo here, and then some paragraphs and the footer. So we're going to style the navigation, the footer, and these 3 paragraphs. Okay, so let's get started on that. So if we go into our CSS, we're going to go to CSS, main.css, okay? And the first thing I want to do is I want to actually give the body of the page a font family of Roboto. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to comment out the next section, which is navigation. Okay? And we're going to do nav, curly braces, and then hit enter, background, hashtag 021428. Okay, then we're going to do a width of 1903 pixels. And we're going to do a height of 70 pixels. Okay? Now, what you'll see here, once we save and go back to index and right click and open in the browser, is our page is starting to take shape here. We got the logo popping up and the anchor tags are purple. Okay, so let's continue. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to style the anchor tag. So we're going to do line height 4, color white, font weight bolder, text decoration none, margin left 20 pixels. Okay, and then let's do a hover. So we're going to do our pseudo selector, anchor colon hover, and we're going to give it a color of yellow. Okay, and then active state, we're going to do anchor colon active. The color will be lime. Whoop, I didn't type in the color, I just typed in lime. There we go. And then we're going to do a.active. One of these we're going to have to delete. Let's see here. Color lime. So the reason I'm doing this is I want to show you a couple different ways to do it for the active state. So you'll see here that we have a class called active. Okay? So we don't need this. You can go that route, but I recommend doing the class because we actually have that in the code in every section. Every page we have class equals active for that page. So for about, it's class equals active about.html. And when you click on that, in fact, let's take a look at that real quick. See, at the home page, it's lime. When we go to about, it's lime. When we go to contact, it's lime. When we go to portfolio, it's lime. So you can tell which page we're on based on this hovering state. The hovering state will show you what your selection is, and the active state will show you where you are. Okay? So that looks really nice. Okay, so let's edit the logo now. So we're going to do image hashtag logo. So the hashtag is a ID. So we're going to do margin left 402 pixels. We're going to do a margin right 20 pixels. And we're going to do a margin top 14 pixels. Okay? So we got all that. And we're going to give the let me check something here. Let's open in the browser. Okay, so we got to adjust the position on the navigation. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go into the main CSS. We're going to go to the anchor tag here, and we're going to add a couple more properties. So position, relative, top, negative 13 pixels, left 40 pixels. Okay, we'll save that. We'll go to index.html, open in the browser, and now, voila, our navigation is beautiful and it looks fantastic. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to edit the slideshow. And we're just going to add a border at the bottom and give it a couple other properties. But we're going to comment this out so we know which section it is. So we're going to call this slideshow. Okay, hashtag, or we're going to do image, hashtag, slideshow, curly brace, and we're going to do border, bottom, 10 pixels, solid, and then a color of 021428. And then a width of 1903 pixels. Okay, let's go to the index. Let's open in the browser. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay? Now I'm going to I'm going to do the footer first, and then we're going to fiddle with the paragraphs. Okay, so let's go here, and I'm going to do this. We're going to turn twice, and let's do footer. Okay, and we'll do that, and we're going to do footer, margin top, 200 pixels, background, hashtag 021428, width 100%, height 215 pixels, color white. Okay, and then we're going to do P hashtag footer text. Okay, and we're going to do line height 13, and we're going to do text align center. Okay, so we'll save that. We'll go to index.html. Yep, it's there. We're going to right click, open in the browser. Beautiful. So now we have copyright demo 2018. So looks nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fix up the paragraph a little bit, not too much. Okay? Hold on one second. Okay, that's fine. All right. So we're going to style the paragraphs here. So let's go into our code. And did we give it an ID? Let's see. Okay, the section is paragraph. So I'm going to show you how to use the inspector on Google Chrome. And let me just do that so we're just seeing one tab. Okay, so let's right click, let's click inspect. Now if you click this little button right here, this is a select an element on the page to inspect it. Okay, so if we were to click here, it's going to show the paragraph. The other thing you can do, which is an easier trick, is do section ID right there. And what we can do is we can type in a property here, and we can do margin left 20 pixels. Okay. And let's do 100. Let's try text align center. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay, so let's do margin left 100 pixels. Okay, margin right 100 pixels. Margin top 100 pixels. Huh. So, there's an easier way to do this. If I just right click and reload, we could just do this. We could do margin. It'll let me click in here. There we go. Margin 100 pixels. What that'll do is it'll kick it all the way around. So the margin is margin top 100 pixels, left, right, and bottom. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to select this, Control C to copy, or you can right click and copy. Okay, we're going to go back into our code, and we're going to go to our CSS, and let's do right above the footer, we're going to do home page content. Oh, there we go. Okay, and we'll paste that in right here, and we'll right click on the index.html, and that's exactly how we wanted it. So that's it for the home page. So in the next video, we're going to style the services page. So I'll see you there. Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to style the services page. But before we get started with that, I want to make a few adjustments on the services page itself. So you'll see here we have section ID equals paragraph. So I want to change this to services dash paragraph. The reason for that is I want to give it a different property than what we have on the main page. And if we keep those the same, it's going to give it the same styling. Okay, so what we're going to style first here, let's right click and open in the browser, and I'm going to show you. We're going to edit the services title page first. Then we're going to do the image, then we're going to do the paragraph. Okay, so let's go into our CSS. We're going to return twice, and we're going to comment out this line. We're going to do services page. Okay, and then we're going to return again, and I'm going to type in h1 hashtag or ID page dash title curly brace margin left 400 pixels. Okay, then we're going to do color hashtag 021428. Okay, we'll save that. Let's go back, right click in the open in browser, and you'll see that the services is lined up with the logo. Now if you go to the portfolio page, it's the same. If you go to the about page, it's the same. If you go to the contact page, it's the same, because these all have the same class. Okay, you see here we gave it an ID of page title. They all have that page title ID. So we went to portfolio, and it has the same ID. So it's going to put that style wherever it sees this ID. It's going to instantly display that property or that style on the page. So that's fantastic. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to edit the image. So we're going to do image hashtag or ID services dash slide. Okay, curly brace. Let's do margin left. We're going to do 401 pixels and a width of 67%. Okay, we'll save that. Let's go to services.html, right click and open in the browser, and now it's lined up with the services title. Okay, so it looks really nice. Now we're going to edit the final part of this, which is the paragraph. So let's go back, and we're going to do this. So let's go to, we're going to type in section hashtag or ID services paragraph. Okay, curly brace, margin 100 pixels, margin left 400 pixels. Okay, we'll save that. Let's go here, right click, open in the browser, and there you go. So we have plan A, plan B, and plan C. And that is all I have for this video. Now in the next video, we're going to style the portfolio page. So I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to style the portfolio page. All right, so let's get to it. So let's go into our page here. I have the portfolio page open. And I just want to double check everything. That looks good. Okay, so let's go. We're going to close services.html. We don't need that open. Let's go to main.css. Return twice. Comment this out. We're going to do portfolio page. Okay, close that. Return twice. Save it. We're going to do image, hashtag or ID, project, one-image, curly brace, margin left, 401 pixels. Okay? So let's go to the portfolio.html, open in the browser, and now you see it's lined up. Beautiful. So let's go back, and now what we're going to do is we're going to let's do the div ID project 1. Okay, curly brace, we're going to do margin left, 1201 pixels, position, absolute, top, 121 pixels, left, 0 pixels, and a width of 466 pixels. Okay, we'll go back to portfolio, right click, open in the browser, and now you see that we have project 1 is lined up and there's a button that you can't see. Beautiful. Now let's go back again, and we're going to go to, now we're going to style the button. Okay, so let's go to return again, and we're going to do anchor.project 1 dash button, curly brace, width 100 pixels, height 60 pixels, background hashtag C51A1A. Okay, then we're going to do padding 20 pixels, position relative, we're going to do top 4 pixels, left negative 21 pixels. Okay, so let's go back to portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser, and now we have our layout. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to add to this. So I'm going to copy this right here. We're going to type in a comma, space, paste that in, and we're going to change this to project 2 image. Okay, let's go to portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser, and you'll see that this is right next to it, right? And it should be okay, and we're going to do one more thing here. Let's see, that's fine there. Below here we're going to do let's do section ID project 2. Okay, and we're going to do margin top 50 pixels. Okay, nice. Okay, we'll open that in the browser. Nice, beautiful. Okay, so like I said, I'm using Alt Tab to go back and forth, but you can also just click here and then do that as well. Okay, so let's go back to the CSS, and so we have that set. I also want to change this. I want to add project 2 to this. So we're going to do comma, space, and we're going to type in 2 instead of 1, or add that I should say. Same here, we're going to copy that with Control C, hit a comma, space bar, and then we're going to change project 1 to 2. Now let's go to portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser, and I see everything but this. And the reason that is the position. So we're going to have to change that part. Actually, we shouldn't have to. Let me just see something. Yep, it didn't work. Okay, that's no problem. Okay, so let me just double check something here real quick. project 2 dash button, project 2 dash button, okay, project 3 dash button, okay. So with that, we're going to give it its own properties. Because, like I say, for some reason it doesn't want to work. So that's okay. So let's just do that. We'll do a curly brace. We'll do that right there. I'll grab all this, paste it in here, okay? Then we're going to open the portfolio.html. And where are you at? I'm going to inspect. And I'm going to go to section project 2, and we're going to grab this, and it should be right here. So based on that, let's scroll up a little bit. Okay, so you see where it is. It's identical to project 1, and that's what the problem is. So we're going to do top 400. Actually, let's do negative 40. $375. Oh, that's close. Let's do about right. And see, I like to use this as a ruler. That's pretty darn close. We'll go with that. We'll do 350. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it is going to be 348. Oop. Let's go up just a little bit more. I'd say that's right on. Beautiful. Okay, so let's select this. We're going to right click and copy all that. Go back into our CSS. Okay, we'll go right here, we'll grab right here, and just paste over that. Control S to save, go back to portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser, and now we have this part where we want it. This is being copied because it's in the same position. So you see project 1 and 2 are combined. The lorem ipsum is in the same area as well. So we need to move both of those down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these out of here and we're going to make their own. For some reason the image was fine because it was only a margin left, but these are all messed up because of the top left and that. So let's just do this. Let's delete the comma. Okay, I'll right click here. Well, not right click. We'll grab this. Okay, I'm going to Control S to copy that. And we're going to go here, and what I want to do is I want to put project 2 below so that it keeps them separated. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'll save that. Let's do this, and we're going to do that, and then based on the button, I'm going to give it a top of, let's do 300. We're going to guess, and then we're going to adjust. Okay. So now let's go into portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser, and that's not even close. Okay, so let's do this. Here we go. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Project from div project 2 and button and section. Section 2 you can keep, but delete this stuff. Okay, delete both of those. Okay, and then this is okay, image 1 and image 2, and we're going to actually add image 3 in here as well. Okay, I'm going to show you the easy way to do this now. Alright, so we're going to grab these two right here. We're going to copy those, return twice, and let's click here, hold Control, click there, delete that, and type in 2, Control S to save, go to portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser, and you'll see that it's right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to inspect, and we're going to inspect the, not the section, but the actual div. So this div right here, if we change the position of this, it's going to move both. Actually, all three elements it will move. Okay? And that's what I wasn't doing before. So let's do 400 pixels. Actually, let's do 600. Okay, and then we'll move up from there. So 600 doesn't work, then we'll do 500. Okay, I would say 450 would work. Okay, that's close. Now, yeah, that's pretty good. Now, one way to try to like line it up is if you scroll up, you can use this top part as a ruler to line it up. And the same goes true for this part as well. Like if you wanted to line up the image, we could move the image down and it would be lined up there. So this looks nice. So we're going to go with that. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to right click, click copy, go in here, and we're going to go to our main.css. And let's change this. Okay, let's right click in portfolio.html. Beautiful. Now, let's fix the last part and then we're done with this page. So let's go in here. Let's go to right here. And what we're going to do, I do want to see one thing first. Okay, good. That's lined up. So we just need to bump down the third section. So let's go to main.css, and you see right here how they have this. We're going to copy this. Okay, I'll put it right there, and I'm going to call this 3. Okay, and let's go back to our browser. And there you go. So we have the spacing that we want. Now if we need more spacing, we can just add, and I think we should add 50 pixels to each section. So let's do 100 here, okay, and then 100 here. Okay, well, let's go to portfolio.html, right click, open in the browser. That looks nice, and I'm going to move down project 2. Because again, I want this to be lined up. I want the title to be lined up with the top of the image. And if the button hangs over, that's okay. Okay, so let's right click inspect. We're going to go to section 2, project 2. We're going to do div, and we're going to bump this down quite a bit. So let's line it up. It's right there. Okay, and we're going to do, what I'm doing is I'm scrubbing. I'm using my roller. And if you scroll up and down, you can do that, or you can use the arrow key. Okay, so like that. Right there. So we're going to do 528. Okay, I'm going to copy that. We're going to go to line 92 on our CSS. See, it shows you right here. Go to line 92. So line 92. Right there. Beautiful. Paste that in. Save it. Go back. Let's right click. Open in the browser. Project 1 is good. Project 2 is good. We just need to fix this and we're all done. Okay, so let's go back. And we're going to do the same thing for section 3. So we have, so let's grab these two right here. We're going to grab div project 2, anchor project 2 button, and we're going to paste that right down here. Okay, and we're going to change the numbers. So let's hold control, delete 2 and add 3. Save that. And what we're going to do is we're going to add, let's do 1028. I'm just guessing, but I believe that that'll be close. And then we can just make adjustments from there. All right, so let's go to portfolio.html, open in the browser, and you see we're a little off, but we're not that off. You know, I would say it's better to be that far off than have it linking with the other ones and then you're getting confused. So if we do this and we hit the down button, it'll actually bump it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my ruler here. That looks pretty good. So let's grab this right here. We're going to copy this, right click. So highlight it, right click, copy, and we're going to go to main.css line 120 and replace that. Okay, so right here, line 120, grab all that, paste that in. Beautiful. Now what we're going to do before we go, I'm going to kind of organize this a little bit. So we have image project 1, 2, and 3. I think that's the only one that's combined. All the other ones are separate. So we'll do project 1, button 1, project 2, button 2, project 2, section 3. Okay, so we're pretty much organized, but I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up here. Right here. Okay, so now we have project 1, button 1, project 2, div 2, project button 2. Okay, and then project 3, project 3, project 3. Okay, so it's just more organized. All right, so with that being said, in the next video, we're going to style the About page. So this page right here is the next one that's up, and I will see you in the next video. All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to style the About page. So let's right-click, let's double-click the About page and open that up. Right-click, open in the browser. Okay, and you see here the image is on the left, and the paragraph is going down to the footer. So the first thing I want to fix is I want to delete this paragraph right here, and I want to go and delete up to about here. It has survived. So let's go into the HTML first. We're going to delete this paragraph with the break, and we're going to go all the way up to here. It has survived not only 5 centuries. Hit delete. Control S to save. Let's go into the CSS now. And before we do that, let me just find out what this is. So we're going to do image ID about image. Okay, so let's do, so we're going to comment this out first. About page. Okay, and we're going to do image ID about dash image. Okay, we'll do margin left 402 pixels. We're going to Control S to save that. Right, go into about.html, right click, open in the browser, and now we have the About page done. So that's all we wanted to do for this page. All we needed to do is line it up, push the margin 402 to the right, or actually to the left, and from the left, push it to the right, and line it up with the About page name, and then we lined this up, and we guesstimated this, like we could go one more paragraph. But I think it looks cleaner this way, and this looks very nice. So in the next video, we're going to style the contact page. All right, I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to style the contact page. This is what I want it to look like, and currently, this is what it looks like. So we want to work towards this. Okay, something similar to that. Now, we're not going to have this information over here, but this styling is what I'm looking for. So let's go into our HTML, and we're going to close out about.html, and we're going to open up contact.html. And what I want to do is I want to go into the HTML here, and where it says input type, we're going to add an ID. Actually, no, we're going to add a class. Okay, so let's add a class. It's equal to form-control. Okay, and we're going to add this to every input. Okay, so let's put that here. Put that here. Let's put that here. And with this, the button, we're going to give it a Bootstrap class because I want to get you ready for Bootstrap. So we're going to do button, button primary. Okay, we'll save that. So this is a Bootstrap class right here. So what we're going to do, Now that we have that done, let's go to the CSS, return twice, comment this out, contact page. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the return twice. We're going to type in form, margin left, 402 pixels. Okay, we'll save that. Go to contact.html, right click, open in the browser, and now you see it's lined up with the where it should be, right? Now what we're going to do, let's close that, and let's go back to Sublime. Let's go into our CSS, and now we're going to add some more. So we're going to do class, form, control, okay, and we're going to do display block, width 40%, padding 0.375 rem, 0.75 rem. Okay, then we're going to do font size 1 rem, line height 1.5, color hashtag 495057. Okay, and we're going to do background color. Okay, and we're going to do hashtag FFF, which is white. Background clip is going to be padding box. Okay, we're going to do border 1 pixel solid, hashtag CED4DA. We're also going to do border radius 0.25 rem. Okay, and then we're going to do transition, border dash color 0.15 seconds, ease in out box shadow 0.15 seconds, ease in out, and then close that. Okay, so let's go to contact.html, right click, open in the browser, and now you see we have a clean interface. Okay, it's nice and clean, easy to see. Now we need to style this, the button. So let's go back to Sublime, and we're going to type in class let's try that again. We're going to type in class button primary, okay, color, let's just do white, and let's do background color blue, border color blue. We'll make an adjustment, but let's just see how that looks. So let's go to contact.html, open in the browser, and there you go. So that's kind of a high bright blue, so we're going to change that to hashtag 007 BFF. Okay, and then we're going to copy this and paste it down here as well. Okay, now we're going to do a button primary hover, which is our pseudo selector. Button primary hover color white, background color now we're going to do blue, border color blue. Save that. Let's go into contact.html, right click, open in the browser, and there you go. Now we're going to add one more style to this because I don't like how this is so small. So let's go into our CSS, and let's give it padding. Let's do padding 20 pixels. And let's right click on contact. No, I don't like that. I'm going to delete that, and we're going to add another class at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to do .btn, and we're going to do display inline block, font weight 400, text aligned, center. Let's do white space, no wrap, vertical align, middle. We're going to do user select, none. Border, 1 pixel, solid, transparent, not transition, transparent. Okay, and we're going to do padding 0.375 rem, 0.75 rem. Okay, font size is going to be 1 rem. Line height 1.5. And border radius and all that is right here. So we're going to grab, let's see, from, okay, these two. We're going to copy these and paste them down here. Okay, and then let's go to contact.html, right click, open in the browser, and voila, we have a beautiful button, and it's clean and easy to use. Okay, so that is the completion of this section of the course, which is your website project. So in the next video, we're going to get started on Bootstrap. I'm going to show you how to build a Bootstrap website, and then we're going to style it again, just like we did here. And you can see, I just want to say one thing here. You can see here, like we did 200 lines of code. Okay, that's a lot of code. Like, it takes a long time to style stuff. Like, you have to really sit there and like dissect every section of the website. It makes it fun because you can do a lot of things, and this is just an introduction, but practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing. Start building your own web pages and style them, you know. Use the techniques that I showed you, but go off the grid. Go to the website that I showed you with Mozilla Firefox, the developer section, and read their material and study that and do the repetitions and get excited about it and learn it, because that's how you're going to get better. I'm able to do this without any looking or anything because I literally would practice all the time. I used to go to the library 7 hours a day to study programming. When I decided to switch careers, I spent 7 hours at the library. All I was doing was this. Every day I was doing it. So if you do an hour a day and all you're doing is coding, you're going to get really good at it. If you do it for 7 hours a day, you're going to be really good, really fast. If you do more than that, you may be better than me. So it's all good, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing the repetition, because the more you practice, the more you work with the pseudo tags and the classes and the IDs and the elements, the more you work with that, the easier it's going to be. And then when I bring up more content like SAS, when I'm trying to teach you SAS, it's going to be easier for you to understand SAS when you can style in CSS, because SAS is an even easier way to style web pages, because you can use variables, which is a step above this course, but again, you can get there, because all you need to know is the basics here, and once you do, then you can go to the next level. And so that's what I want to help you do. So in the next course, we're going to go and talk about Bootstrap. We're going to set everything up. We're going to build the home page, services page, portfolio page, about page, and contact. Then we're going to style all those. After that, I have another section, which is PHP, and we're going to learn the basics of PHP, and then we're going to convert our Bootstrap website to PHP so that you can move it onto WordPress or Joomla or Drupal or whatever you want. And so with that in mind, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to start learning Bootstrap. I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. In this course, we're going to learn Bootstrap. So the first thing we need to do is set up our files. So I want you to click on the File Explorer using Window key E to open up the File Explorer. We're going to click on Local Disk, C, MAMP, htdocs. We're going to right click inside of there and we're going to create a new folder and call it bootstrap.com. Okay. We're going to go inside of here. We're going to right click. We're going to create a folder, call it CSS. Create another one. We're going to call it JS. And create another one. We're going to call it image. IMG. Okay, so let's go back one. Actually, we're going to go back two directories. We're going to go to MAMP. We're going to right click on htdocs. Click on send to desktop. Okay, close this. I have that open. Go to your desktop and you should see htdocs shortcut. Alright, so let's open this up now. We're going to go to project, add folder to project. Okay, I'm going to click on htdocs shortcut, bootstrap.com. We're going to select that. I'm going to hit Control N to create a new file. We're going to hit Control S to save. And we have to select the source of the project because it hasn't found the home of the project. So it thinks that you want to save it on the desktop. So we're going to click on htdocs shortcut, bootstrap.com. And now we're going to type in index.html. Alright, so now go to Google Chrome. So I'm going to click Start. I'm going to type in Google Chrome and hit Enter. And we're going to go to getbootstrap.com. Click on Get Started. Scroll down here. There's a quick start guide on how to get things rolling here. But we're going to grab the starter template. So hit Copy, Copy to Clipboard. Okay, go back into Sublime Text. We're going to right click and we're going to paste this inside of our index.html. We're going to hit Control S to save. We're going to right click and open it in the browser. Let's try that one more time. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. Why not? Very weird. Okay, no problem. So minimize this. Go into your browser. Open a new tab up. Type in localhost. Well, that would probably explain why. So we need to turn MAMP on. Okay, now click on bootstrap.com. Hello world. There you go. So the reason it wouldn't let me view the source when I did this was I didn't have MAMP running. And so now that I have MAMP running, it will let me do that. But it's a good thing to practice to not use this and open in browser, but to actually go to the browser and type in localhost and then just refresh the page whenever you're editing it. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a navigation bar here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their layouts. Let's look at their themes real quick. Just so we can test out, I want to test out the code, make sure everything's working. That's not the correct area. Let me see here. Bootstrap themes. Let's do categories. I think you got to pay for all these. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. Let's just go to, we'll close this tab, close that tab, go to examples. There you go. All right, so let's grab this one right here, product, and we're going to right click, view source page, Control A, Control C, go into your page here. We're going to Control A, delete, paste that in, and now I want you to open in the browser or go here and type in localhost. Okay, so it doesn't show it, and it shouldn't because we didn't do it correctly. But that's why I'm showing you this, because you can see how easy it is to break the code if we don't have the correct things in there. So Control S to save that. Let's go back in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab from the nav down to the footer. Control C or right click and copy. Go into Sublime. And wherever the body is right there, return a couple times and paste. Open in the browser. I know why that's not working. I'm going to fix that. Okay, so let's refresh this. And now we have the layout that they have here. So you can see it's a little bit different because we don't have this. So Bootstrap will give you a default style, but you need product.css in order to have this layout here. To have the layout that they have, you need to add your own CSS to it. And that's what they did. They built their own custom CSS for this layout here. Okay, so this is more just to get you started so you can see what it can do and how easy it is to create a site real quickly. And they have a whole bunch of these templates that are free, totally free. You can look at them, mess around with them. I strongly encourage you to do so. I mean, look, you see how they have different navigations. It's phenomenal. Never expand. That's kind of cool. They have a lot more stuff now than they did when I was first learning this. They've added a lot more, so it's a lot more robust, and that's good. So I highly encourage you to bookmark at bootstrap.com and utilize the tools that you see here. And what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to build out the navigation. All right, so I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the navigation, the footer, and we're also going to add the slideshow and one other feature to the homepage. All right, so let's get started on that. So in the previous video, we did all this hoopla and whatever. Let's just Control A, delete, Control S to save. I'm going to go back into Chrome, and I'm going to go to the I'm going to click on the little B here, or just go to getbootstrap.com. Click Get Started, and we're going to grab that starter template again. Okay, I'm going to copy that. We're going to go back into our file here. I'm going to paste this in again. And we're going to kind of space out stuff a little bit and get it ready for building the navigation. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to add custom CSS to this. So we're going to comment this out, custom CSS. Okay, and we're going to do link css/custom.css. Okay, so let's go into CSS, right click, new file, Control S to save. We're going to do custom.css. And we're going to type in a couple things here. Body, padding with padding top, 54 pixels. Okay, and then we're going to do at media min width 992 pixels, and let's do a body with padding top of 56 pixels. Okay, then we're going to do a class of carousel dash item, and we're going to do height 65 VH, min height 300 pixels, background no repeat, center scroll. Now you're probably wondering, why are we putting all this stuff in here? Well, the reason we're doing this ahead of time is we're going to build out the menu, and we're going to build out the carousel and the footer, and one other element in this video. And so I'm just getting this prepped so when we get all that coded, it will function the way that it needs to. So let's do Moz background size cover. Okay, and then we're going to do O dash background dash size cover. Okay, and let's do background dash size cover. Okay, and then we got one more thing. So we're going to do dot portfolio dash item. We may or may not use this. I haven't decided yet. and that, 30 pixels. Okay, so now let's go into the index, and we're going to delete hello world. Okay, if it'll let me see if I'll try again. There we go. So we're going to comment this out, navigation. Okay, and we're going to do, so let's do start navigation, and then we'll do end navigation. So let's copy that and return twice, and then end navigation. So we'll hit control and the left arrow to kind of tab around, and then I'm going to return twice and go to line 21 and tab N1, and we're going to do nav class navbar fixed, navbar fixed dash top, navbar dash expand dash large, navbar dash dark, background dash dark, fixed top. Okay, we'll close that. Okay, and now we're going to start the container. So let's open inside of here. Okay, let's do start container, and we're going to do a div with a class of container. All right, and then we're going to do end container below it. So I want to return once. We're going to do end container. Okay, we'll keep that there. And now we're going to do start. Let's return and then do start. Actually, let's just do nav brand, because we're not going to end this. We're just going to do one line of commenting out. So let's do an anchor with a class of navbar dash brand, href index.html, and we're going to type in Bootstrap, and we're going to close that with an anchor tag. Okay, so we'll return, and we're going to return a couple more times here. And I'm going to go to line 29, and I'm going to comment this out again. We're going to do start button. I'm going to return twice, and we're going to do end button. Okay, now that that's done, we'll return a couple more times. We'll go to line 31, and we'll do button class navbar dash toggler, navbar dash toggler right. We're going to do a type button data toggle equals collapse data target equals ID navbar responsive. Okay, ARIA dash controls equals navbar responsive. Okay, ARIA dash expanded equals false. ARIA dash label equals toggle navigation. Okay, and we're going to do a span with a class of navbar toggler dash icon. Close that span, and we're going to do button to close it out. Okay, and then I'm going to hit delete once to bring up the, okay, I guess it didn't work. So go to line 34, go up and hit backspace to bring the comment up, and same with this, I'm going to hit delete, and that should squeeze it together so we know where they're combined. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to comment out start links, okay, and then we're going to return and we're going to end links. Okay, and we'll go in here and we'll return 2 more times, and I'm going to start with a div and a class of collapse. Okay, and we're going to space navbar collapse. and we're going to do an ID of navbar right here, navbar responsive. Okay, and then I'm going to close that, return, and I'm going to hit backspace to bring end links up. Okay, now we're going to do an unordered list. So we're going to do ul class navbar dash nav ml dash auto. Okay, we'll close that, and we're going to do an li with a class of nav dash item, and we're going to close that with an li, and we're going to do an anchor with a class of nav link and an href of index.html. And we're going to type in home here. We'll close that off, and we're going to copy this now. So we're going to do, before we copy that, I want to comment this out. We're going to do home, and we'll copy all of it. Oop. There we go. So let's copy all of this. I'll return, and we're going to do, I'm going to give it one more space, and I'm going to give it a space up here too so it's easier to read. And this is going to be services. This is going to be services. So I'm going to copy that here, and I'm going to just put a lowercase s in there. We'll copy this again. I'll return twice, one more time. And I'm going to paste that in. We're going to do portfolio. Okay. We're going to do, okay, and let's do this. So I'll copy all this, and we're going to do about, copy that, paste it here, paste it there. We'll change this to a lowercase a, and we'll do the same with contact. Okay, we'll do contact. Whoop. I'm going to right click. Actually, I'm not going to right click. I'm going to go in the browser. I'm going to go to our localhost bootstrap.com. I'm going to refresh. And now you see Bootstrap, Home, Services, Portfolio, About, Contact. Okay? So I'm going to do it this way because I have this feature. When you right click and open in the browser, it's turned off because I have the program pointed to another program. So it opens up this program when I try to view it in the browser. So that's okay. All right, so we got that working. So now what I want to do is I want to start on the carousel. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the bottom of our navigation. We're going to return twice, okay? And we're going to name this. We're going to do start slideshow. And then we're going to return a couple times. Let's return one more time. And we're going to do end slide show. Okay? So this is where we're going to put everything in for the slideshow. So we're going to do, and actually let's do start header instead of slideshow, because we're going to put a header tag in first, and then we'll do the other ones. Okay? So I'm going to bring this back up. I'm going to return once, and we're going to make a header tag, and I'm going to go just like that and have it kiss it. So that way when you make the next element, it'll be easier to do. So we're going to do start, and we'll call this carousel div. Okay, then we'll return twice, and we'll end the carousel div. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create a div with a class of carousel, an ID, not a div. We're going to do a div with an ID of carousel example indicators. Okay. Yep, that's good. And then we're going to do a class of carousel slide space slide, and we're going to do data ride. we're going to do an ordered list with a class of carousel indicators. Okay, and we'll do an ordered list. Oh, what the heck is it doing? There we go. Okay, we'll return that, and I'm going to do, we're going to do an li with a class, with no class, a data target, equal to the ID of carousel example indicators. Okay, we're going to do data slide -2 equals 0. Okay, we're going to have a class of active, and we're going to close the li. So I'm going to actually just click right here because for some reason this thing is going all over the place. So now we're going to do the same thing again. Data target equals carousel example indicators, okay, with a data slide 2 equals 0, or 1, I mean, sorry. And we're not going to do class equals active because that's only for the first slide. Okay, so we'll close that with an li, and then I'm going to copy this, and we're going to do it again. So we'll do it one more time, and we'll just change the 1 to 2. Okay, so we got that done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start carousel inner. Okay, so let me return once here, and let's do start carousel inner. And then let's end that too. So let's end carousel inner. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to tab in here, and we'll do div class carousel dash inner with a role equal to list box. Okay, and then what we're going to do is let's return, and I'm going to, okay, let's put it right here. We're going to start first slide. Let me do start first slide. There we go. And then we're going to end the first slide. End first slide. Okay, and we're going to tab in here, and we're going to do a div with a class of carousel dash item space active. Okay, and we're going to do a style background dash image and a URL. It's going to be http://placehold.it/1900 by 1080. Okay, and let's close that div. Okay, and then we're going to do div class carousel dash caption d dash none d dash md dash block. We'll close that, and we're going to do an h3 with first slide. Okay, and then a paragraph tag. This is a description for the first slide. Okay? Alright, so that's the first slide is done. So now we're going to copy this, and we're going to call this second slide. So I'm going to copy that, I'm going to put it here, put it there. We're going to delete active. Okay? Everything else can stay the same. And we're going to copy this again, and this is going to be the third slide. Okay, so we'll do third slide, copy that, save that. We're good to go there. Now what we're going to do is Did I close this div? Let me see if I did. Nope, I did not close the div. So we're going to close the div right here. I don't know why I didn't do that, but that's okay. We figured it out. There we go. All right, so we're going to end the carousel inner here. I'm going to return after that, and we're going to comment out start previous, and then we're going to end previous. So this is for the controller of the slideshow. Okay, so we got that, and now what I'm going to do is we're going to do an anchor. If I do it the right way, anchor with a class of carousel dash control dash prev href id carousel example indicators. Roll is a button, so it's equal to a button. The data slide equals previous, so prev. And then we're going to do a span with a class of carousel dash control dash previous dash icon. Okay, and then we're going to do aria dash hidden equals true, and we're going to do we're going to close the span there. Okay, then we'll go one more row, and we're going to do another span with a class of sr dash only. We're going to type in previous and close the span tag, and then we'll close our anchor tag here, and we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it below, and we're going to start next instead of previous, because we just did next, or previous I should say. I'm going to copy this and paste it everywhere where I see previous. So like here we're going to type in next, and I'm going to do that here and here. So if you hold control and double click and paste that in, now when we open this in the browser, which I'm just going to go here and reload, it should be working, and it is. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to finish the home page here. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the footer and the main content. Okay, so let's go back to our Sublime Text file, and after, okay, so let's get this cleaned up just a little bit. So we're going to bring the header up to the end carousel div, okay, and then we're going to return a couple times after that. All right, and we're going to add a container. So we're going to comment this out first, and we're going to say start container. Okay, and we'll end that comment, and we'll do the same here. We're going to do end container, and we're going to do turn a couple times. Start right there. We're going to do div class container. Okay, we'll close that, and let's return, and we're going to return a couple more times. I'm going to go to line 141. I'm going to do an h1 tag with a class of my-4. We're going to type in welcome to our Bootstrap business, and we're going to close that h1, and then we're going to do let's comment this out. Whoop, I didn't want to do that. We're going to do marketing icons section. Okay, and we're going to end that. End marketing icons section. Okay, and so let's return there, and I'm going to put start here. Okay, and we'll return a couple more times. We'll go up to line 145, and I'm going to do a div with a class of row. We're going to close that row, and we're going to do div class column large dash 4 MB dash 4. Okay, we'll close that. And we're going to do div class card H dash 100. Okay, and let's do an H4 inside of there with a class of card dash head card title. Okay, and we'll do H4, and then we'll do div class, let me scroll down here, card dash body. Okay, we're going to close that with the div. We'll return, and we're going to put a paragraph tag in here with a class, and we're going to do card text, and then we'll just type in some text. So we'll just do, this is my paragraph tag with some text, period. Okay, and then we'll close that div there. We'll go below that div, and we're going to do div class card dash footer. Close that div. Inside of there, we're going to put an anchor with an href of hashtag for blank class button, or BTN, BTN dash primary, and then we're going to learn more. And then we're going to close that with an anchor tag. Now, I want you to go to your browser, and I'm going to refresh. So now you can see, welcome to our Bootstrap business. Card title, this paragraph is some text, learn more. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you what we did. If we go, and if you're looking at this, this is a row. Okay, so Bootstrap is a grid system. It has 12 columns. So you can, so what we did was, in here, we gave it a column of 4. So we're going to copy this, and I'm going to show you how this exactly works. Okay, so let's copy this, return a couple times, and we're going to return a couple more times and copy it 3 more times, 1 more time. Okay, just so you can see what it's doing. All right, so we save that. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to refresh my page, and now you can see that it's got 3 columns here filled. So this is 4. This is 4. This is 4. So anything equal to 12 will show up on this row. If it's over 12, if it's like 16, which is what this is, it will push it down to the next row. So now it's down here. So if we go back in and I edit this and I make the first one 12, okay, and I go back to my browser and I refresh, this takes up the whole row. Okay, now I don't want that. I want to have 3 of them on there. That way, it's just the design of the site. But so let's go back in there again. I'm going to refresh this. Okay, so now it comes back. So that's the row system, the grid system, in a nutshell. Is you're basically creating columns. You're giving that column a characteristic or a property of 4. You can do up to 12. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, or 11 or 12. And depending on the characteristic that you give it or the property, that's what's going to dictate the look and feel of the page. Okay? So let's go back in here, and I'm going to delete the last column that we added. So that one right there. Okay? And I'm going to bring this up. Okay, and that's the end of the container. So let's bring that up a little bit. Let's bring this up, and we'll leave it right there. That way we know, say, hey, this is the row. Okay, so we'll bring it like that. And like I said, I like to leave these separate so that you can see what we created. What was the column that we added to the row? Okay, so now you can see it. This is our row right here. The div starts the row, and then you put the columns in there. Okay? So that's all we got for that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the one more element to this, and then we're going to create the footer. Okay? So we're going to do a call to action section. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to comment this out. Start call to action. Okay? And then I'm going to end that call to action. Okay, so now we're going to do a div with a row again, with a class of row, and we're going to do MB-4. Okay, and inside of there we're going to do a column, so we're going to do div class column dash MD dash 8. Okay, and we're going to do a paragraph tag with this is my paragraph. Tag with some text. Please keep reading here so that I can fill up this section with content. Something to that degree. Okay? Now, so this div right here is for this column. So we want to add one more column in here. So we're going to do div class column MD-4. We'll close that, and we're going to do anchor. So we're going to do an anchor tag with a class of button or btn dash large dash button dash secondary. Okay, button dash block. I can't spell block. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do href hashtag. Type in call to action, and we're going to do anchor. Now, we got that, so let's go back to our main page here. We're going to refresh, and now you can see this is a paragraph with some text, call to action. So now we have a call to action. Okay. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to create a footer. So we're going to go into below the call to action, and we're going to create a footer. So we're going to go outside of the container as well. So I want to bring all these up and kiss them against each other. We're going to hit end, turn twice, and we're going to comment out footer. And we're going to do footer class py-5 background or bg-dark. Okay, close that, and we're going to do a container. So div class container, close that, and we're going to do a p tag with a class of m-0 text center text white. So the interesting thing about Bootstrap is basically all that this is somebody went in and wrote styles for all of this. So when you call a certain style, when you call this class of m-0, all you're doing is you're calling the class and the property that they set for it. Same with text-center, text-white. They've already programmed all this ahead of time, so all you have to do is call a class. That's what is the great thing about it, but it's also important to understand that that's why it's better to understand CSS a little bit and HTML so that when you get into this, you're not reliant on just their classes, but you also know how to make your own. That's very important. So we finished this. So I typed in copyright and copy apostrophe, not apostrophe, colon, not even a colon, Bootstrap 2018. Okay, I'm going to go back to the browser. I'm going to refresh. And now you see we have a footer. Okay, so what I want to do before we go to the next video is I want to space out this a little bit more because it's a little crunched together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Sublime, and at the top here we have this right here, welcome to our Bootstrap business. So the first thing I want to do is I want to push the container down just a hair. And there's a couple ways you can do that. We could do that with CSS, or we can just code it. I'd rather code it because it'll just make it easier. So let's do BR, and so what that stands for is break. And what a break is think of it as if you're working on Microsoft Word, you hit return. That's what it's doing. It's creating space. So it'll push it down, okay? Now I want to do the same thing here. I want to give it one break, and then one break here, and then two breaks there. And if it's too much, we'll adjust it, okay? So we're going to do one break here, okay? And let's see how that looks. I think that looks good, because it's not too much, because you don't want to like push it so much where you can't even see it. Okay, and then here we're going to do another one. So I'll save that. I'll go back into my browser. I'll refresh up here. And now you see that it's evenly spaced. And we'll do one more break below the footer. Actually above the footer. Okay, so we'll do a break here. I'll save that. We'll go back in here. And we'll refresh. And there you go. So now we have even space, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same at the top. We're only going to do one because I think that it makes it look cleaner than if you space it out too much. There you go. So now we have a clean looking home page. Now in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to combine all this that we built, and we're going to build a navigation again, a footer again, and we're going to build all this and take some of the elements out for the services page. Alright, so in the next video we'll build the services page. I'll see you there. Alright, welcome back. So in this video we're going to build out the services page. Alright, so let's go into our Sublime Text project. And as you see here, I still have the index.html open. Okay, and I see one thing here that I want to change before we go over to the other one. And we're going to type in Bootstrap, and we're going to do Shift and the pipe key. I'm going to type in home. I'm going to Control S to save that. Now we're going to Control A to copy this, Control C, and Control N to open a new file. Control S, and we're going to type in services.html. Okay. Now I'm going to paste this in. We're going to save it. I'm going to scroll to the top. And what I want to do is I want to change this to services. Okay, now I want to preview this in my browser. So I'm going to click that. Let's click on services. And so now you see that we have the same exact content on the services.html page and the home.html, or index.html, which is home. So in this, what I want to do is I want to delete all this, but we're going to keep the footer. So let's go into Sublime, and we're going to leave Start Navigation alone, and where it says Start Header, we're going to grab that and scroll all the way down till we get to the footer. Okay, and right there I want you to hit delete. Okay, Control S, I want you to go back in the browser so you can look at what we did. I'm going to refresh, and now you can see that the footer and the nav are kissing each other, because what it did was when we deleted all the elements, it pushed everything up. No problem. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build out the services page. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab my resource here. Hold on one second. Let's do that. And we're going to build out this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab nothing. We're going to create a container again. So let's create a container. So let's go return there, and we're going to do start container. Okay, and we're going to do div class container. We're going to close the container, and then below it I'm going to type in end container. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to return one so we have space in between the footer and the container. I'm going to tab in, and I'm going to look here, and let me just see what. Okay, so we're going to inside the container. I'm going to tab in once, and I want you to return a couple times, and we're going to do breadcrumb. Start breadcrumb. Okay, and then we're going to end breadcrumb. Breadcrumb. Okay, and let's see here. Return. Okay, and then we're going to do h1 class mt-4 mb-3, and let's do services. Okay, and then we're going to return, and we're going to do small subheading. Okay, and then we'll close that with an h1. Okay, let's save that. Let's go into our browser and preview it and see how it looks. Very nice. Okay, so let's go back into our project, and we're going to, now that we have the not the breadcrumb, but we have the title, we're going to add the breadcrumb. So we're going to do an ordered list with a class of breadcrumb. And I know you're wondering what a breadcrumb is, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so we're going to do an li with a class of breadcrumb dash item, and let's close that li, and we're going to put an anchor tag inside, and we're going to do href index.html. Type in home and close that. Okay, so we got the li done, and now we're going to go below the li, create another li with a class of breadcrumb item dash, not dash, space active, and we'll do services. Close that, and let's go and preview that and see how that looks. So I'm going to refresh, and now you see what a breadcrumb is. So basically what it is it will give you a way back to the home page. Okay, so if you click this, it takes you back. Now, it's better to use this for if you're doing like a photo gallery, or you have like, you want to have a sub navigation. That's what this is. So if we were in services and we clicked on something else and you wanted to show that, you could. You know, it's a valuable tool to use. So let's go back to our project, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a, so now that we have the breadcrumb done, I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this actually where the breadcrumb starts. Okay, and here what we're going to do is do page title. Okay, and we're just going to do one because I'm going to delete the subheading, and I'm going to take it all the way up there, and I'm going to hit delete again until I get the H1 right here, because we don't really need the subheading. So let's look at that real quick. There you go. So we got services, and then we have our breadcrumb. Okay, so let's go back in there, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create a price table. So we're going to create a row. So what I want to do, I'm going to return twice, start price table. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a row. So div class row, and let's close the row, and we're going to add a column. So div class column large dash 4 space mb dash 4. Okay, now a lot of these you'll realize that we've used these before, and that's good. Now we're going to do a div class with card h-100. Okay, and inside of there, let's do an h3 with a class of card header, and we're going to type in basic, close the h3. Okay, and then return. Let's see. Okay, yep, return, and we're going to do div class card body. Okay, close that, return, and we're going to do div class display -4. Okay, and we're going to do 1999 with a div. Okay, and we're going to do another div below it, div class font italic, and we're going to do per month, and we're going to close that div. And then let me scroll down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And we're going to close that, so that div is going to be right here in the card body. And then below that, we're going to do a UL. So we're going to do UL class list-group, list-group-flush. Okay, close that UL. And we're going to do an LI. So LI class list group item. This is text 1. Close that. And then we're going to copy that. And we're going to paste it 3 more times. Actually 2 more times. And I'm just going to change the number. So I'm going to click right here, delete that, do 2, hit down, and then do 3. Okay, so you have 3 items there. Let's paste it 1 more time. And with this one, we're going to add an anchor tag inside. So instead of having the text here, we're going to add it to anchor tag. So let's return, and we're going to do anchor href hashtag class button primary, and we'll do sign up. Okay, and we'll close the anchor tag. Now let's go to our browser and take a look at this. And as we refresh, there you go. So we have basic, $19.99 per month. This is text, this is text, this is text, sign up. Beautiful. So that's what we want to do again and again and again. We're going to do that 2 more times. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab everything that we've created in here, from here to here. Okay, so we don't want to grab the row, but we want to grab everything else. And I'm going to return there and return here so we know where the row ends. Okay, I'll return, paste that, we'll return again. Let me scroll down so you can keep up with me here. I'll paste that in. Now let's go back to the page, refresh, and now we have it across the board. And what we're going to do is I want to change a couple things around. So let's go in here, and what I'm going to do is, you can see here in the basic plan, we're going to call this the plus. Okay, and we're going to give it a price of $39.99 instead of $19.99. And I also want to change a couple things. So if you go into div class card H100, we're going to add a couple things to that. So after card, let's hit space, and we're going to do card dash outline dash primary. Save that. Let's refresh our page. And I don't know what that did. Okay. I guess I didn't do what it was supposed to. That's okay. Now we're going to change the last one to $159. And we're going to do ultra. Okay. And the other thing I want to do is I want to add a couple breaks here so we can push the footer down. So we're going to add, let's do 4 breaks. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. And let's refresh our page. It still didn't push it down enough. Okay, let's do a couple more. If we do 8 breaks, that should push us down to the bottom. Okay. Nope. Okay. We'll do 12 breaks. Okay, so I'm going to delete 2 of those. Well, let's just delete 1. We'll save it, go back, refresh. Okay, I'll delete 1 more. Okay, delete that, save it, go back. Beautiful. So now we have our services page, exactly how I want it. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to build out the portfolio page. I'll see you there. In this video, we're going to build out the portfolio page. Are you ready? Here we go. So let's hop into Sublime, and let's copy all of our text, all of our code, I should say. So let's Control A, Control C, Control N, Control V, Control S, portfolio.html. All right, let's scroll to the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the services to portfolio. Okay, and save that. Scroll down to where the container is. Change the page title to portfolio. And the breadcrumb, let's change that to portfolio. We'll save that. Now we're going to keep the row, but let's do start row instead of start price table. Okay, and then let's do end row at the bottom. Okay, we'll save that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything inside the row. So all the columns we're going to delete. Control S. We can delete the breaks. Okay, and what I'm going to do is inside of the row, we're going to type in project 1. Okay, I told you the wrong thing here. Where's my container? Okay, my bad. Container's right there. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this, the start row, to project 1. That was my goof. So let's do project 1. Okay, we can delete this. And let's do project 1 down here, where the row ends. So let's do end project 1, start project 1. Okay, and inside of the row, we're going to type in the following. So we're going to create a column. So div class column md-7, close that, return. We're going to do an anchor with an href of a hashtag. And inside of there, we're going to do an image with a class of img-fluid rounded mb-3 mb-md-0 with a source of http://placehold.it/700 by 300. Okay, and then close the anchor right here. Okay, and outside of the column, let's go and create another class, or another div I should say, with a class of column md-5, and let's close that div, and we're going to type in an h3, call project 1, save that, and then I'm going to do a paragraph tag. And let's just type, this is some text to fill up the paragraph tag so that we have enough content to show on the page to get the look that I want, that I am looking for, period. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do a anchor with a class of button, so btn, and then we're going to do btn-primary, and we're going to do an href with a hashtag, and we're going to view the project, and we're going to put a span in there. So span class glyph icon, I believe it's called. So GLYPH icon, and then glyph icon dash chevron dash right, and we're going to close that span, and let's do an anchor tag. Okay, we'll close that, and that should be the end of project 1. So let's save that. I'm going to go to the browser. I'm going to open up portfolio. Really, let me just see here. Oh, I didn't spell it right. I typed in portfolio. So let me change that. So let's rename this. So let's do portfolio. Save that. All right, now I'll go back. We'll click on portfolio. And now you can see we have project 1. Okay, beautiful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab all that code that we just made, project 1, and we're going to return twice and paste it again, return twice and paste it again. Okay, so now what I want you to do is we're going to do project 2. Okay, so I'm going to copy it there, copy, paste, copy, paste. I think that's it. And then let's do project 3. We're going to find out if that's it. So I'll paste that here. I'll paste it down here. We'll Control S to save. We'll go back in the browser. We'll refresh. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Now, I want to add one more thing, and then this page is done. So in between the projects, I want to put an HR tag. So that's a horizontal line. So HR. Okay. So we'll do that. Now let's go back to the browser just so you can see the first one. And now you see it makes a line in between, so it creates space, separation. So it separates the elements. So we're going to do that for the other two, in between 2 and 3. I'll save that. Let's go back. Beautiful. Now I want to do the same at the bottom, but we don't need to put an HR there. We can put a break. So we're going to put a break here. So let's do one break and see how that looks. And if we need to add, we can. I'm going to refresh. Let's do one more break. Save it. Go back. Refresh. And there you go. So this is the portfolio page. Clean, simple, easy to use. So in the next video, we're going to build out the About page. I'll see you there. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to build the About page. So let's go into Sublime, and we're going to Control A, Control C, Control N. So Control A selects all, Control C copies, and Control N will create a new file. Control V will paste in what we copied. Control S will prompt us to name the file. So we're going to type in about.html. Okay, and what we're going to do is go to the top of the page, change portfolio to about, and let's copy that. Control C, Control S to save. And wherever you see portfolio, let's paste in about. Okay, we'll save that. Let's go to the browser real quick and take a look. I'm going to click on About, and it has exactly the same stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an image here and then some text, and that's all we're going to have on the About page. Okay? Okay, so that's the wrong one. Let me see here. Okay, so let's go into our About page, and what we're going to do is we edited the breadcrumb, so we're good there. Now we're going to create a row, which we have. So let's delete everything inside the row, and we'll keep this, and we'll just start row. Okay, and then we're going to end row. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to delete everything below it. So the HR, all this can be deleted. The container we need to keep. Okay, so that will delete. And the break between the container and the footer, that's fine for right now. We can keep that in there. Okay, so let's go inside the row. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a div with a class of column large dash 6. Close that div. And inside of there, we're going to put an image. So let's do image class, image dash fluid, rounded, MB dash 4 with a source of HTTP colon place hold dot it slash 750 by 450. Okay, and let's return that and create another div with a class of column large dash 6. Okay, and we're going to close this. We'll go inside of there and we're going to type in H2. Okay, close that and we'll do about Bootstrap business. Save that, and then after the H2 we're going to do a whole bunch of paragraphs. So let's do a p tag and let's go into the portfolio.html and we'll just grab our p tag that we created in there and we'll just paste that in here. So I'm going to select that and paste over it, and I'm going to hit return and do the same and then do it again. And let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. That should be enough. Let's go into our page and preview this. There you go. So that's what I was looking for. So I'm going to add a couple more paragraphs to it. So we'll copy that. I'll paste it in 2 more times. Save it, go back. Beautiful. That's exactly what I was looking for. So what we can do to push down the footer, instead of doing a break, what we can do is we can create another row. So let's do div class row. We'll close the row and we'll do div class column large 12 dash 12. Okay, close that div, and I'll grab all this paragraph text, paste it in here, save it, go back to the browser, refresh, and there you go. Now the footer, we'll add one more paragraph. So let's highlight that, we'll return, paste it in, Control S to save. We'll go here, we'll refresh, and there you go. Now the footer is pushed down to the bottom of the page because the content is what controls the layout. So the more content you have, the more it's going to push down. Okay? So that's it for the About page. In the next video, we're going to build out the Contact page. I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the Contact page. So let's go into Sublime. We're going to hit Control A to copy all, or to select all, sorry. Control C to copy. And we're going to hit Control N to open up a new file. Control S to save that file, contact.html. And we're going to paste this in with Control V. Okay, and then Control S to save. Go to the top of the page. We're going to change the title to Contact. Okay, I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to go past the navigation. We're going to go to page title, paste in Contact, and in the breadcrumb we're going to paste in Contact where it says About. Okay, now I'm going to open this in the browser. I'm going to click on Contact. There you go. So now we have Contact here, Contact there. All this right here we're going to delete. So let's go into our delete the row, all that. The container, let's see. The container we need to keep, but everything else we're going to delete. Okay? So we're going to keep the container, the page title, and the breadcrumb. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to build out our form. So what I want you to do is we're going to do a row. So let's do start. Let's do contact form. Okay. And what we're going to do is let's do a div with a class of row. And we're going to do div class column large dash 8. And we're going to do MB dash 4. We're We're going to close that. And inside of there, we're going to put H3, send us a message. Okay? Now below that, we're going to type in form. And we're going to put the form tag in there with a name equal to sent message. Okay? And we're going to have an ID of contact form. And then no validate. Whoop, we got to stay inside of there. No validate. Okay? Now, after that, we need to close the form. Okay, we're going to return, and inside of there, we're going to create a div with a class of control group and then form group. Okay, now let's close that div, and inside of there, we're going to create another div and call that with a class of controls. Okay, let's close that one, and then we're going to do label. So we'll do label full name colon, and then close the label tag. And below that, we're going to do an input type. So we'll do input type equals text, class form control. Okay, and then we're going to do an ID with name, and we're going to do required data dash validation, required message equals please enter your name. Okay, so we're good there, and then let's do a paragraph with a class of help block. And so what this is going to do is when you send the form, if you don't fill it out, it's going to pop up this message, please enter your name. That's what we're building right now. So let's go down to this div right here. We're going to hit return, and we're going to grab everything that we just created right here. So from the control message down, okay, so from right here down, we're going to copy that, control C, return twice, we'll paste that in, and instead of doing full name, we're going to do phone number. Okay, and then where it says required data validation required message, please enter your phone number. Okay, and then we'll do the same below this. Again, we're going to copy it, return twice, paste it with Control V, and we're going to save it. And instead of doing phone number, we'll do email address. Okay, and then please enter your email address. Okay, and then we're going to do message. So this one is going to be completely different. So we're not going to copy and paste this time. We'll just return twice, and we're going to do div class control dash group form dash group, close that div, and we're going to do div class controls, close it, and then inside of there we're going to do the label message colon label, and below that we're going to do input type let's see, no, we're not going to do input, sorry, we're going to do text area, and inside of there we're going to do rows 10 columns, so COLS is 100. We're going to do a class of form control, we'll do ID message, and then we'll do I'll copy required data validation. That part we can copy. Let me grab all of it. So let's go from here down to there. So we'll paste that in after ID equals message. Please enter your message instead of email address. Okay, and then we're going to do max length 999, and we'll do style, resize, none, and that is it for that. Now we need to add a couple more things and then we're completely done with this. So once we get out of the control group div, which is right there, what we're going to do is we're going to create a success div. So let's do a div with an ID of success, and then close that, and then right below that do button type equals submit with a class of button primary, okay, with an ID of send message button, and then we're going to type in send message, and we're going to close that with a button tag. Control S to save, and now let's go back to our browser and take a look at our contact page. So I'm going to click on the link again, and there you go. So that looks really nice. It's evenly spaced, it looks really nice, and so in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to spend the entire next video and we're going to style the entire website. So you can see how much easier it is to build a website in Bootstrap compared to hand coding everything in HTML and CSS. This basically gives you a starting point where you can start editing and add stuff and move stuff around, and it's a great tool to use. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video where we're going to style the entire web page. I'll see you there. Alright, welcome back. So in this video what we're going to do is we're going to style the website. So we just built the contact page, and if you go through each page you can see it's styled. Like it looks clean, it's nice. We're just going to make a couple tweaks here and there and then we're done. Okay, so let me go into the Sublime Text project. Okay, now if we scroll up at the top, we're in contact right now. You can see right here we did custom CSS. So all we need open is custom CSS. So let's close index, services, portfolio, about, contact, and just go to custom.css. So these are global styles. And so I'm going to label this global styles. Okay, so let's do start global styles and then end. That way we have them separated. Okay, and we'll do end, not empty cells, end. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our browser, Google Chrome. I'm going to right click, I'm going to inspect, I'm going to click on the top area here. We're going to click on nav class equals navbar fixed top navbar expand. We're going to click on the little plus sign here, the new style rule, and I'm going to type in background blue. Now that didn't do anything because we didn't grab the correct element, so that's okay. So we're going to grab the container and let's see if that does it. It does, but you see what it did is it grabbed everything. So it grabbed all the containers that we have because we have 3 containers. So we don't want to do that. So let's hit refresh. Alright, so we're going to go in here again. We're going to go up here. We're going to select that, and let's do, you see right here where it says dot background or BG dash dark? That's what we need to change. And see, that's already in here. They've already hardwired it into the code. So we're going to copy that. Copy. Let's go into Sublime. I'm going to paste it right here. And let's do navigation background color. Okay, so we know what it is. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from this color and we're going to type in navy because I want it to be navy. So let's go back to the browser, let's right click, and now it's navy. Okay, beautiful. And you also see, because they added a class down here with the class of BG dark, whenever you change the top, it changes the bottom. Okay? If you didn't want to do that, then you would just do, you would delete that, which this is just, you delete it and then it wouldn't show up. So let's refresh, and there it is. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to do is I want to update this. So when we hover, it turns into this color. When it's not hovered, when it's not selected or hovered over, it can stay that color. So let's inspect. Let's scroll down, and let's click right there, and let's click on HOV and do hover. Now here's where you can change it. So if we click right there, it'll grab the little color dropper. You grab that, and there you go. Now I'm going to copy this into the border color too, and let's grab all of this code, right click and hit copy, go into Sublime, and let's do call to action, button hover state. There you go. Now when we go back and we refresh and we can minimize that, when you hover over it, it's navy blue. Beautiful. Now, same thing I want to do with these. So when you hover over it, I want it to go to navy blue. Okay, so let's inspect. And we're going to go hover again, and we're going to grab this, click on hover, and now it will show you the code that you need, which is right here. So we're just going to copy this. Copy, go into Sublime, and we'll comment this out first. So button hover state. Okay, we'll paste it down here, and instead of keeping these, we're going to grab this right here, which is the navy blue color that we like, and we're going to paste it in both. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back. I'm going to minimize this. We're going to refresh the page, and when we hover, it should be navy blue. There it is. So you see how simple it is to really just do quick styling of the page. It really helps when you already have the layout built out. It's a very smooth process. Okay, so when you do it here, you see that it already did it. So it's changing it on every page. There we go. And now let's look at about. There's nothing there to click on, but on the contact page, it changes the color again. So that's it. So that's how you build a project in Bootstrap.